Immortal Cultivation family, starting with extreme effort to gain experience. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1, Not a Bad Start. A dark cave, a blue stone platform. Luya sat cross-legged with his hands holding a spell, breathing evenly and continuously. Every time he inhaled, a faint white snake of spiritual energy like a gauze drilled into his nostrils and was refined into his own magic power. After more than half an hour, with a sigh, Luya's tightly closed eyes finally opened. I really can't go back. 3 days have passed since Luya traveled here. For 3 days, Luya has been staying in this cave and has never stepped out of the cave. But the memory in his mind told him that this place is completely different from the peaceful earth where he used to live. This world is chaotic and turbulent. Not only are demons and monsters roaming, but there are also weird things. The strong are indulging in luxury and wealth, while the weak are trying to survive in groups but cannot. The owner of this body is also called Lu Yang. He was originally the 7th generation of the Yang generation cultivator of the Lu family of the Cultivation family. He has good talent and is currently at the peak of the 4th level of key training. As for why he was not called Lu Yanggaya, it was because this family of immortal cultivators was too weak, so it was stipulated that from the 6th generation onwards, the patriarch would inherit the generation name, and the rest of the children did not need to do so. This cave was also one of the only 3 caves of the Lu family. It was not easy to accumulate spiritual energy in the cave. In addition to the patriarch who could occupy a cave for cultivation all year round, the rest of the Lu family could only apply for use for a few days when their cultivation was about to break through. Lu Yan also applied to borrow the cave because his cultivation was about to break through, hoping to break through smoothly. But he did not want to rush it, and his cultivation went wrong, and his soul was destroyed, which allowed Lu Yan to seamlessly connect. Lu Yan sighed again. In the past few days, in addition to being familiar with everything about the original owner, he did the most to analyze the current situation. In the end, the result was, this Lu family was a low-class immortal cultivator family that was still easily trampled to death even if they huddled together for warmth. Fortunately, the Lu family also understood this truth. The family members were extremely united, and there was no such drama as intrigue and power struggle. Fortunately, Lu Yan did not come empty-handed. As soon as Lu Yan's mind moved, a screen appeared in front of him. Name, Lu Yan. Lifespan, 1788 years old. Realm, 4th level of key training. 98/100, Kung Fu, Chongchun Kung Fu proficiency. 55/200, skills, fire control proficiency. 68 out of 200 cleaning proficiency. 164/200, magic power, none. In 3 days, every time he practiced a kung fu, there would be a trace of enlightenment from the bottom of his heart, so that the original experience of only 92 points slowly rose to 98, and only 1 day away from 100. In Luya's view, this panel can not only intuitively reflect his various attributes and progress speed, but also that real efforts will be rewarded. Every time he runs and practices, it will be fed back on the panel, turning into real experience, bringing him real insights, and allowing his abilities to continue to improve. If I had such a board in my previous life, it would be no joke to reach the pinnacle of life, Lu Yan grinned. Somewhat nostalgic for the peaceful life on Earth. But it's not bad now, he is now cultivating immortals, the dream of so many people. What if the start is bad? What if there are more dangers? What if the resources are insufficient? Lu Yan said that as long as he is given enough time, these problems will not be problems at all. Concentrating his mind, Lu Yan picked up the jade bottle beside him, poured out a round pill the size of a soybean and swallowed it into his stomach. The Bigu pill, which can be taken without food for a day, is a must-have for cultivating immortals. It is also a pill that can be withdrawn from the family after applying to enter the Earth Vein Cave for retreat. When the feeling of fullness came, Lu Yan crossed his legs again and began to meditate and practice. It was not far from the 5th level of key training. He must complete this established goal, otherwise he would consume the precious Earth Vein spiritual energy but not make a breakthrough. At that time, not only would the tribe members be disappointed, but it would also be bad if there were any flaws in his words. As Lu Yan entered the state of cultivation, the already silent cave fell silent again. 2 days later, the door of the number 3 Earth Vein Cave, which had been tightly closed, opened with a bang, and Luya, wearing a gray and white Taoist robe, walked out of it without haste. He was originally on the verge of a breakthrough, and with the help of the Earth Vein spiritual energy in the past 2 days, he finally succeeded in breaking through and officially became a 5th level key training cultivator. 17 years old, 5th level key training, this age and this level of cultivation, looking at the surrounding cultivation families within 100 miles, is also considered a first-class cultivation seed. Of course, such a cultivation level is a bit indistinguishable in the yin-yang sect, the dominant sect covering an area of 50,000 miles. I heard that the yin-yang sect has a giant ancestor in charge, countless disciples, and innumerable elite talents, especially the female disciples. I heard that all of them are stunningly beautiful and charming, but I don't know if it's true or not. If I have a chance in the future, I will definitely visit the yin-yang sect. The female disciples don't matter, but I mainly want to see the demeanor of a major sect. The underground cave is one of the few cultivation resources of the Lu family. It is guarded by family elders all year round. The one guarding outside the cave now is Lu Zan, a 6th-generation Tong cultivator, who is also Lu Ya's 6th uncle. Seeing Lu Ya coming out, Lu Zan, who was dressed like a middle-aged scholar, smiled with satisfaction and said, "Yes, nephew Lu Ya is worthy of being the leader of our Lu family's Yang generation." When Uncle 6 was your age, he was still struggling at the 3rd level of key training. Since my nephew has come out of retreat, I will go to the meeting hall to report to the clan leader and second brother. This is also the biggest happy event of my Lu family in the past year. The clan leader mentioned by Lu Zan is Lu Dingbo, the cultivator with the highest cultivation level in the Lu family. He has reached the 10th level of key training and seems to be only one step away from building a foundation. The second brother is Lu Ya's father Lu Yuan, who has the 8th level of key training and is also one of the 5 late-stage key training elders of the Lu family. He is in charge of the family's spiritual rice planting. In the matter of cultivation, dharma, wealth, companions and land are all indispensable. Although the Lu family is a small family of immortal cultivation, it is small but complete. The family has everything, such as spiritual rice planting and spiritual beast breeding. Hearing this, Lu Yang asked with some doubt, "6th uncle, at this time, shouldn't my father be taking care of the spiritual rice in the spiritual field? You know, spiritual rice planting is related to the triennial yin and yang tribute. This is the most important thing within 1,000 miles, and it cannot be sloppy. If nothing big happens, Lu Ya's father Lu Yuan basically stays in the spiritual field to take care of the spiritual seeds, and will not leave for a moment." Facing Lu Ya's question, Lu Zan's face obviously showed a haze, and then he covered it up well and explained, "The spiritual rice has grown well these 2 days. Your father took the opportunity to come back, replenish some cultivation resources, and discuss some things with the clan leader. It's getting late, nephew Lu Ya, go to the meeting hall to meet the clan leader and second brother." Although Lu Zan said it very easily, Lu Ya could see the fleeting haze clearly. However, since his 6th uncle was obviously unwilling to say more, Lu Ya did not continue to ask. After saying goodbye to Lu Zan, he hurried to the meeting hall in the center of the Lu clan. Please recommend new books and collect them. Chapter 2 Tribute and Spiritual Fields. The Lu family is not big, covering only 100 acres, with only 100 or so houses in total, and less than 150 people in the family. This is counting the mortal relatives who do not have the qualifications to practice. There are only less than 30 people who have truly stepped into the threshold of practice. In addition, there are only 6 acres of low-grade spiritual fields, 1 acre and 4 fen of medium-grade spiritual fields, and 2 spiritual beast pens. It is so difficult to grow and develop in this area under the jurisdiction of the yin-yang demon sect. First of all, the number of family members should not be too large, otherwise it will attract the attention of the demon sect's envoys. At that time, the family without even a foundation-building cultivator will be wiped out. Secondly, there are too many people and poor strength, which is easy to attract some unspeakable evil spirits. Although cultivators have a certain ability to resist evil spirits, for mortals, there is basically no means to resist evil spirits. The cold and crazy aura emitted by evil spirits is enough to make mortals mentally collapse and have cardiac arrest. There are countless other risks, big and small. In Lu Ya's memory of more than 10 years, there have been no less than 10 deaths of family members who have been witnessed by his own eyes. Lu Ya, dressed in a gray and white Taoist robe, walked quickly on the bluestone road, greeting everyone he met. His every move was natural and casual, And there was nothing wrong with him as usual. The Lu family's meeting hall was located in the center of the clan's land, about 200 square meters. Before Lu Ya reached the door, he heard an angry shout from the hall. The Zhou family is really bullying people too much? Then a male voice persuaded calmly and forcefully, Patriarch, calm down. You and I all know that the Zhou family has evil intentions. We need to be careful in dealing with this matter. Hearing this familiar voice, Lu Ya paused slightly, and then walked quickly to the door. 5 steps away from the door, Lu Ya stopped and bowed, saying, Lu Ya of the Yang generation, greets the clan leader. After Lu Ya finished speaking, a burst of laughter broke out in the meeting hall. Ha ha ha, it turns out to be my grandson Lu Ya. Come and let Grandpa take a good look. Hearing this, Lu Ya walked quickly into the meeting hall and soon met the current patriarch of the Lu family, Lu Dingbo, who had reached the 10th level of key training. Lu Dingbo is already over 70 years old this year, but he looks only about 50, with a ruddy complexion and a strong body. A cultivator who has perfected key training can live up to 120 years. Lu Dingbo, who is over 70 years old, is naturally in his prime. If he can break through the foundation building stage, he can at least extend his life by another 80 years. By then, he will be a completely different person. Below his left hand, a loyal middle-aged man in a black robe was holding his knees with both hands, looking at Lu Ya with satisfaction. It was Lu Ya's father Lu Yuan. When Lu Ya saw the two, he bowed again and said, Meet the clan leader, meet the father. Lu Dingbo sat at the head, and his spiritual sense swept over Lu Ya lightly. Then he clapped his hands and laughed. Good, 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 you are worthy of being the pride of my Lu family. At the age of 17, you have reached the 5th level of key training. In time, my Lu family will prosper. The Lu family has settled here for more than 200 years. During this period, except for the Lu family's ancestor Lu Changfeng and the second ancestor Lu Hanchu, who were foundation-building cultivators, it has been 100 years since the 2 foundation-building cultivators died, and the highest cultivation level is only key training perfect. As the patriarch, Lu Dingbo's desire to revitalize the family is engraved in his blood. When he saw Lu Ya at this time, the eager expectation in his eyes was beyond words. Seeing Lu Dingbo's undisguised joy, Lu Ya had to look at his father. Lu Yuan naturally understood what his son meant and said, You don't deserve such praise from the patriarch. This is all the credit of the family's cultivation. Hearing Lu Yuan's words, the joy in Lu Dingbo's eyes disappeared, and his voice was low. It's a pity that the order of the Yin-Yang Holy Sect has been sent. This year's tribute will be increased by 20% compared with the past. Otherwise, the family can allocate more resources for heir's cultivation. The tribute increased by 20%? Lu Yu naturally understood how big a deal the Yin-Yang demon sect's tribute every 3 years was. It can be said that 70% of all the cultivation resources produced by the Lu family must be contributed to the Yin-Yang demon sect. You must know that 1 acre of medium-grade spiritual field can produce 600 kilograms of spiritual rice a year, and the lower-grade spiritual field can produce 450 kilograms of spiritual rice. The Lu family has a total of 7 acres and 4 mu of spiritual fields, which can produce a total of 3,500 kilograms of spiritual rice a year. According to the current conversion of 1 low-grade spiritual stone for 5 caddies of spiritual rice, there are a total of 700 low-grade spiritual stones. According to the previous tribute, 500 of them were to be paid to the Yin-Yang demon sect, and the remaining 200 low-grade spiritual stones were distributed to the 28 cultivators of the Lu family, which means less than 10 per person per year. With such cultivation resources, it is a bit extravagant to say that they have to tighten their belts to live. However, even in this case, this year's tribute will increase by 20%, and the already tight resources will be even worse. No wonder Lu Dingbo's eyes are tired. As for resistance or concealment, they dare not do it. Not to mention that all the spiritual fields within the influence of the Yin-Yang demon sect are registered. Even if a foundation-building disciple comes out of the demon sect, it is enough to destroy a small family like the Lu family. Lu Yu couldn't help but ask, why did the clan leader suddenly increase the tribute by 20% this year? In the past, Lu Yu would not have said so, but on the one hand, he has already reached the 5th level of key training, and according to the clan rules, he can already participate in the clan's major events. On the other hand, Lu Yan now needs to understand all the relevant information around him in order to make the right judgment. The specific reason for the tribute is unknown, but there is news that the Holy Son of the Yin-Yang Holy Sect has completed his foundation building, and the Yin-Yang Holy Sect is preparing for him to impact the Golden Elixir. Lu Yuan explained to Lu Ya in a calm tone. Then he waved his hand and stopped entangled in the tribute. He turned around and asked again, "We can't control the affairs of the holy sect. But the affairs of the Zhou family are imminent. Nephew Lu Yuan, is the matter of the 2 acres of medium-grade spiritual fields you mentioned true?" Hearing this, Lu Ya looked at his father Lu Yuan with curiosity. Lu Yuan nodded and said, "Zhou's spiritual field is adjacent to my Lu's spiritual field. Just 3 days ago, I found that there was a vein of spiritual energy rising from the land at the border of our Lu's medium-grade spiritual field. According to my judgment, the range of this spiritual energy rise is enough to open up another 2 acres of medium-grade spiritual fields, and even 3/10 of high-grade spiritual fields in the center. If these 2 acres of spiritual fields belong to my Lu family, it is equivalent to an extra 300 low-grade spiritual stones for cultivating outstanding descendants or high-level cultivators, which is crucial to the development of my Lu family. However, just the day before yesterday, I saw the elders of the Zhou family sneaking around the border of my Lu family's spiritual field. Before I could report to the family, I received news from you, the clan leader, today that the Zhou family intends to get involved in these 2 acres of new fields of my Lu family, so that's it." Lu Yu finally understood why the clan leader was so angry before. 2 acres of medium-grade spiritual fields and 3/10 of high-grade spiritual fields are no less than 1/3 of their lives and property for a small family like them. This new field is on the edge of their Lu family's spiritual field, so it should belong to their Lu family. However, as far as Lu Yan knows, the Zhou family is 3 points stronger than their Lu family. Although both families have only one person who has reached the 10th level of key training, the other party has 3 more cultivators in the late stage of key training than the Lu family. Lu Dingbo suddenly turned to look at Lu Yan and asked, "Heir, what do you think about the matter between Xinchen and the Zhou family?" New book, please recommend, collect, and comment. Chapter 3, The Tight Life of a Monk. Lu Yu lowered his head in thought for a moment, then looked up at Lu Dingbo and said, reporting to the clan leader, "Zhou and my Lu family have been in constant friction on a daily basis, and their evil intentions have long been obvious. If my Lu family shows the slightest weakness, they will find ways to tear off a piece of flesh, and even worse, there will be a danger of destruction." Lu Yu believes that this matter must not be retreated even a step, but the situation is stronger than the person, and Zhou is half a point stronger than my Lu family. But as far as I know, the spiritual field will take a few months to a year, and this period of time is enough for my Lu family to make full preparations. At this point, Lu Ya's eyes flashed with a trace of hesitation, and then he continued with a normal expression, "The mother of my Lu family is King Mu Wang. The 2 families have been in-laws for decades. If we persuade Wen to take action, the 2 families will join forces, and Zhou will not be a concern." The mother of the Lu family mentioned by Lu Ya is Wang Shuiao, the wife of the clan leader Lu Dingbo. Now she is at the 7th level of key training and the 5th elder of the Lu family. The 2 gave birth to a son, who is now Lu Tong, who is now at the 9th level of key training. In their Lu family, there is also a female cultivator who married into the Wang family. In terms of seniority, she is Lu Ya's grandmother, and she is Lu Dingbo's sister Lu Yuhan. She gave birth to a son and a daughter for the Wang family, which can be said to be a great contribution. After Lu Ya finished speaking, Lu Dingbo and Lu Yuan looked at him in disbelief. In their cognition, Lu Yu usually pays more attention to cultivation, and treats people quite sunny and kind. Unexpectedly, he has such a mature and stable idea. Facing the gazes of the 2, Lu Ya's heart tightened, and then he looked at the 2 with an unchanged expression. "Lu Yuan, you really gave birth to a good seedling for our Lu family." After a long while, Lu Dingbo looked at Lu Yuan with satisfaction. Lu Ya's performance really made him bright. He admitted that Lu Ya's ideas were almost the same as his, and the thoroughness and caution shown by Lu Yu made him quite satisfied. With the potential and style of doing things that Lu Ya has shown now, as long as he is given a stable time and environment, I am afraid that their Lu family will welcome the first foundation-building cultivator in the past 100 years. Lu Dingbo looked carefully at the young man standing in the hall. The young man stood tall, neither humble nor overbearing. His eyes were full of confidence, but not the slightest complacency. In comparison, his handsome face was not so conspicuous. Lu Dingbo looked at Lu Ya and was more and more satisfied. However, as the head of the clan, he was still reserved and said calmly, "It is not easy for Heir to have such an idea. This plan seems feasible, but you have forgotten a crucial point." Hearing this, Lu Ya looked up at Lu Dingbo with a puzzled look, waiting for his explanation. Lu Dingbo said seriously, it is not our Lu family's privilege to provide assistance. What if the Zhou family also has strong allies? What should our Lu family do? Lu Ya bowed and said, Lu Ya, learn from you. Only by knowing yourself and the enemy can you win every battle. Our Lu family's preparations are all for the Zhou family. Therefore, we must always pay attention to Zhou family's movements. When necessary, we can anticipate the enemy and make adequate preparations. This boy is teachable. Lu Dingbo nodded with satisfaction, then patted the gray leather bag at his waist, and a palm-sized cloth bag was thrown into Lu Ya's hand. There are more than 10 low-grade spirit stones in the bag. You have just broken through and your cultivation is not stable. During this period, you should use the spirit stones to stabilize your cultivation and strive to make further progress. In addition, cultivation requires relaxation and tension. Don't bury your head in hard practice. If you have any questions about cultivation, you can ask our elders. Moreover, cultivation cannot avoid fighting with others. It is relatively peaceful in the family, but there are many dangers outside the family. I remember that you only know how to control fire at present. Take some time to go to the Sutra Pavilion in the family and learn more ways to protect the way, so as to avoid fighting with others in the future and being killed at will. Lu Yan nodded repeatedly after listening to Lu Dingbo's words and actions. The spirit stone is exactly what he lacks at present. He has a skill panel, and he must learn magic and so on. As long as he keeps practicing, he will only get stronger and stronger. At this moment, Lu Yuan suddenly said, Patriarch, you can't do that. Lu Ya's cultivation is shallow. There is no need to be so extravagant in daily cultivation. These spirit stones are for the Patriarch to use for cultivation. If the Patriarch builds his foundation as soon as possible, my Lu family will truly prosper. Lu Ya, why don't you return the spirit stones to the Patriarch? Facing Lu Yuan's persuasion, Lu Dingbo glared and cursed, I think you are getting more and more confused. How much more can I cultivate after I have perfected my key training? Giving these spirit stones to me is just a waste. Lu Ya is in need of spirit stones. No matter how hard it is, I can't let my child suffer. What's more, Lu Ya is the genius of my Lu family, but Patriarch, your cultivation. Before Lu Yuan finished speaking, he was interrupted rudely by Lu Dingbo. What's wrong with my cultivation? Without these spirit stones, can I still regress to the 10th level of key training? Lu Ya, don't worry about your father. Keep the spirit stones. The right way is to stabilize your cultivation as soon as possible. Do you understand? Lu Ya's head was full of black lines, not knowing whether to nod or shake his head. Seeing Lu Dingbo say this, Lu Yuan didn't know whether to persuade him anymore, and said to Lu Ya, in this case, Lu Ya, why don't you thank the clan leader? Lu Ya hurriedly bowed and saluted. Lu Ya thanks the clan leader. Okay, go back quickly. Remember to go to the Sutra library after stabilizing your cultivation. Lu Dingbo waved his hand casually. Lu Ya put away the spiritual stone in his hand, saluted again, and turned to leave. Walking on the road, holding the heavy spiritual stone bag in his right hand, Lu Ya felt mixed emotions. In fact, he knew that once a cultivator has perfected the 10th level of key training, he must always keep his mana overflowing in order to nourish his body and prepare for foundation building. Once a cultivator who has perfected key training uses mana and cannot get it replenished in time, his cultivation will regress at best, and his foundation will be affected at worst, and the difficulty of foundation building will soar. Therefore, cultivators who have perfected key training rarely fight with others, and often concentrate on practicing or collecting foundation building pills, striving to complete the foundation building in one go. This is the state of Patriarch Lu Dingbo. Patriarch Lu has good talent. Now he is over 70 years old and still in his prime. It can be said that it is the golden time for foundation building. However, as a third-grade elixir, the foundation building pill is as precious as a fourth-grade elixir. In addition to the yin-yang demon sect, there are only a few people who can refine it within 1,000 miles. In addition, the demand for foundation building pills among cultivators is extremely high, and the competition is even more cruel. Their Lu family does not have enough foundation, and it is not known whether they have enough money to pay for a foundation building pill. It can be said that the foundation building is a long way off. It is precisely because of this that Lu Dingbo gave his spiritual stones that maintained his cultivation to Lu Ya in the hope of giving Lu Ya a better future. Is this their family? Is this your obsession? Lu Ya sighed, wiped out the thoughts that had been brewing in his heart for the past few days, and walked quickly towards his residence. Time is life and strength for him, and he dare not waste it at all. New book, please recommend, collect, and comment. Chapter 4 Choosing a Spell. For 2 whole days, Lu Ya consumed 6 low-grade spirit stones in succession, and finally stabilized his cultivation at the 5th level of key training, without the risk of falling. Lu Ya closed his eyes and adjusted his breath for a moment, calming the restless spirit power in his body, sitting cross-legged on the bed, lowering his head and talking to himself. Now I am officially a 5th level key training cultivator, but it is not realistic to have a significant breakthrough in cultivation in a short period of time with the current situation of the family, even if I have a plug-in. And regarding the ownership of the 2 acres of spiritual fields, my Lu family and Zhou family will definitely have a battle. As a mid-stage key training cultivator, it is not realistic for me not to participate in the battle at that time. What I have to do now is to improve my own strength as soon as possible. If cultivating immortals is compared to playing games, then the combat power can basically be divided into 3 aspects: level, skills, and equipment, which correspond to the realm, spells, and magic weapons in cultivating immortals. At present, Lu Ya's level is limited by resources and talent, and cannot be quickly improved. In terms of equipment and magic weapons, there is not even one. The entire Lu family has no more than 5 magic weapons, most of which are of first-grade inferior quality. Only Lu Dingbo, the clan leader, has a first-grade superior magic weapon. A first-grade superior magic weapon can generally exert its full power in the later stage of key training. This was the equipment that the Lu family spent 3 years saving and thrifting to equip the clan leader with. Otherwise, it would be too shabby for the clan leader. Now, all Lu can do is to work hard on skills, that is, spells. This also fits Lu Ya's idea. After all, he has an experience panel that says there must be rewards for hard work. As long as you work hard, you can become stronger. Thinking of this, Lu Ya quickly got out of bed, opened the door and walked towards the family's scripture pavilion. The Lu family's scripture pavilion sounds like it is very mysterious and high-end, but it is actually just a slightly sturdy 2-story building. Crossing the threshold, Lu Ya saw Lu Dinghe, the elder of the Ding generation, lying on a recliner, a senior cultivator with a cultivation level of the 10th level of key training. Lu Dinghe and the clan leader are both from the Ding generation. He is the clan leader's 3rd brother and Lu Ya's 3rd grandfather. Currently, there are only 2 brothers left in the Ding generation of the Lu family. Sensing Lu Ya coming in, Lu Dinghe opened his eyes, and a satisfied smile appeared on his wrinkled face. Little Ya is here. How is your practice recently? Lu Ya bowed respectfully and said, replying to the 3rd grandfather, my grandson has broken through to the 5th level of key training. The clan leader ordered my grandson to come to the Sutra Pavilion to learn the method of protecting the way. After hearing Lu Ya's words, Lu Dinghe nodded again with satisfaction and stood up from the recliner. Unlike his wrinkled face, Lu Dinghe's body is very tall, and he is actually 2 heads taller than Lu Ya. Just standing there, there is a sense of oppression like looking up at a mountain. Lu Ya suddenly remembered that when his 3rd grandfather in front of him was the same age as him, he was a famous genius in 100 miles. Not only was his magic superb, but his physical body was also extremely strong. Little Ya, 3rd grandpa tells you that this method of protecting the Dao is the most important thing in the process of cultivation. Don't look at some people with good talents and high realms, but when it comes to fighting, your 3rd grandpa can easily kill them with one hand, and if you practice magic well, sometimes it is much more useful than magic tools and talismans. Magic tools will break and talismans will run out, but once the magic is practiced, it is yours. Except when the magic power is exhausted, you can use it however you want. Lu Dinghe was obviously very interested. While pulling Lu Ya to the 2nd floor, he talked about his past deeds with relish. When your grandfather was young, he was a famous killer. Who in 100 miles is not afraid of my Lu family? What a pity. When Lu Dinghe said this, his eyes dimmed and his tall body hunched over. Seeing 3rd grandpa like this, Lu Ya naturally thought of the incident a long time ago. The 3rd grandfather could have had a better future, but because he was too obsessed with magic, he slowed down the improvement of his key training level. In a beast attack, the 3rd grandfather tried his best to kill the 3 first-level high-level beasts, but his foundation was damaged, his cultivation stagnated, and his journey was interrupted. In this battle, the Lu family was saved because of the 3rd grandfather's sacrifice. When people get old, they like to talk about the past. Little Ya must be tired of this old man like me, Lu Ya said in a sincere tone. 3rd uncle, Yair admires you so much and can't get enough of listening. Lu Dinghe pushed open a room and said, okay, although our Lu family is not a big family, but at least our ancestors were foundation-building cultivators, and we still have some family background. Little Yair, what do you want to learn? Third uncle can give you some advice. Lu Yair had already thought about it on the way here. Now that Lu Dinghe asked, he said directly, Third uncle, Yair plans to learn 2 offensive spells, 1 body protection spell, and then practice a method to strengthen the physique. Hiss, little Yair has a good idea, but third uncle has to remind you that the practice of spells is very time-consuming and energy-consuming. Third uncle is a living example. You must not delay your practice progress because of practicing spells, Lu Dinghe explained with a frown when he heard Lu Yair's words. The family finally had a talented and promising younger generation, and he didn't want him to follow his old path. Lu Yair naturally understood what Lu Dinghe meant. Magic is difficult to learn, and casting is cumbersome. Every time you cast a spell, you not only need to chant the spell and make hand seals, but also mobilize the spiritual power in your body to cooperate. The 3 must be combined to successfully release the spell. This is just the initial release of spells, far from the purpose of using them in battle. The battle changes rapidly, and a spell with incorrect syllables, non-standard hand seals, or errors in the mobilization of spiritual power will lead to one result: failure to cast the spell. In battle, once a spell fails, there is only one result: death. Therefore, in the current cultivation world, the proportion of talismans and magic tools in battle is much greater than that of magic. But the cultivators of small families and casual cultivators have to practice magic due to resources, and the practice is only some simple and powerful magic. The real practice of magic is basically the privilege of the children of large sects and large families. But these are not a problem for Lu Yair. With the experience panel, as long as he keeps practicing, his experience will increase, his casting speed will become faster and faster, and his power will become greater and greater. Therefore, facing Lu Dinghe's worries, Lu Yair said calmly, Third grandfather, I understand that you can't chew too much, but I'm just practicing it roughly, and it won't delay the progress of practice. In this way, third grandfather is relieved. As for your ideas, third grandfather recommends a few to you. Lu Dinghe stroked his half-white beard and said crisply, as for body protection, my Lu family doesn't have it. There's only a general body protection aura, which is simple and easy to learn. You can use it for the time being. As for offensive spells, my Lu family still has a few, but I suggest you practice a Earth Spike, which has simple steps, slightly less consumption, and hidden attacks. It can cause great damage to the enemy's psychology and physical body, which is suitable for you in the middle stage of key training. In addition, you can practice a golden sword key. Although this spell is a spell for the early stage of key training and has a slightly weaker lethality, it has a fast activation speed. As long as you practice it well, it is difficult to fail. It is very practical for harassing and interrupting the enemy. As Lu Dinghe spoke, he usually took the jade slips from the shelf in the room and handed them to Lu Yair. Please recommend, collect and comment on the new book. Chapter 5 I wish I could be covered in liver. After Lu Dinghe finished the introduction, he took Lu Yair to continue walking inside. At the innermost of the bookshelf in the room, there was a wall with 2 portraits hanging on it. The portraits were 2 middle-aged men who looked somewhat similar. They were the 2 foundation-building ancestors of their Lu family. Lu Dinghe took Lu Yair to stand in front of the portrait and bowed 3 times respectfully. Then he continued, our Lu family's ancestor was a cultivator in the late stage of foundation building, and was only 1 step away from the golden elixir. Although the ancestor has disappeared, his unique skills that made him famous have been passed down by our Lu family. This is also the most powerful method of our Lu family now, Zhuanyang Yi Qiju. This method is extremely domineering and the practice process is extremely painful, but once it is practiced, the physical body is as strong as a magic weapon, and the magic power even has the ability to burn. It's a pity that no one in my Lu family has succeeded in practicing it except me. After Lu Dinghe finished speaking, he took out an ebony box from behind the portrait and looked at Lu Yair steadily. Little Yair, are you going to learn it? After listening to Lu Dinghe's introduction, Lu Yair immediately decided to practice the Zhuanyang Yi Qiju. When he heard his question, he said firmly, Third grandfather, Yair has decided to practice the Zhuanyang Yi Qiju. Seeing Lu Yair's determined look, Lu Dinghe sighed slightly. He was the same at the beginning. In this case, you can take it back. There are 2 jade slips, One is the practice method and the other is the past experience. If you have any questions during the practice, come and ask me. Lu Ya solemnly put the jade slips into his arms and bowed to Lu Dinghe again. Thank you, third grandfather. Lu Dinghe waved his hand indifferently and said, why thank me? Go ahead, don't delay your practice. After saying goodbye to Lu Dinghe and leaving the sutra pavilion, Lu Ya returned to his residence again. This is his life now. In the entire Lu family, there are only a few people like him who only need to concentrate on hard training. The rest have their own affairs. The spiritual fields need people, and the spiritual beasts need people. Back in the house, Lu Ya sat cross-legged and read the jade slips one by one. It took Lu Ya 2 hours to comprehend the 4 spells one by one. The body protection aura is indeed a common product. It is simple and easy to use. After casting the spell, a layer of mana shield will be formed on the body surface to resist and reduce damage. Of course, such a simple spell, don't expect it to have a heaven-defying protective ability. The ground spike uses spell power and hand seals to summon a sharp stone spike about 1 meter long within a range of 10 meters. The lethality is very considerable, but the disadvantage is that it is a bit slow to start. But what surprised Lu Ya the most was the Golden Sword energy. The Golden Sword energy is a spell in the early stage of key training. It is called sword energy, but it has nothing to do with swords. Judging from the introduction in the Jade Slip, Lu Ya thinks this thing is very similar to the 6-channel magic sword in his previous life. Because the Golden Sword energy is the internal mana running, and then shooting out through the fingers, forming an attack similar to the key force. And the casting is extremely simple. As long as you are familiar with the operation of mana, you can almost do it at will. It's just that the power may be a little unsatisfactory, otherwise it would not be an entry-level spell. But this is not a problem for Lu Ya at all. The most difficult one is the Zhuanyang Yi Qiju. Lu Ya studied it for most of the day, but he didn't figure it out. It seems that I have to ask my third grandfather more in the future, and learn the other spells as soon as possible. Facts have proved that even entry-level spells cannot be learned casually. For 3 whole days, Lu Ya constructed the mana of the Golden Sword energy in his body countless times, but the mana always accumulated at the fingertips and could not be shut out. This also led to Lu Ya's 10 fingers being swollen like carrots. I still don't believe it. I can't learn a simple key training spell. Lu Ya grinned and moved 10 carrots, and his mana was running. The countless times of mana building in the past 3 days has almost become an instinct. Steady, more steady, the mana slowly flowed through his arms and then slowly flowed to the index finger of his right hand. Lu Ya was concentrating. Countless spells before had failed here. This time he had a different feeling. That's it, shoot it out with all your strength. Puff, the accumulated mana gushed out from the fingertips, forming a sword-shaped key force visible to the naked eye. In the blink of an eye, it fell on the opposite wall, and hit the blue stone wall into a shallow pit about the size of an egg. It's done. Lu Ya waved his hands excitedly, looked at the shallow pit with an excited look, and then couldn't wait to open the panel. I saw that a new spell had appeared in the original skill column. Golden Sword Key Entry. 1/100. Once you get started with magic, the next practice is to progress step by step without any obstacles. Lu Ya seemed to have found a new toy, constantly shooting Golden Sword Key from his fingers, and his 10 fingers took turns to play, having a lot of fun. In just a day and a half, Lu Ya mastered the Golden Sword Key to 92 out of 200. The power and speed of the Golden Sword Key also continued to increase in this repeated practice. Originally, it could only make a shallow pit the size of an egg on the wall, but now it can dig a deep pit the size of a palm, 3 fingers deep on the blue stone. If this kind of power is used on the flesh, the effect will definitely be more terrifying. After getting started with a Golden Sword Key, Lu Ya put his energy into the practice of the body protection aura on the ground spikes. With the help of his third grandfather Lu Dinghe, it took Lu Ya 5 days to successfully master these 2 spells. As for the Zhuanyang Yi Qiju, he still hasn't started. But this speed is already very fast. This is the advantage of the sect and the family. There are 2 completely different things when someone teaches and when no one teaches. If Lu Ya relies on himself to explore, not to mention that he can't get these basic spells, even if he gets them, he doesn't know how many detours he will take and how many times he will hit the wall. After learning the spells, Lu Ya's life became more and more fulfilling. Every day, he meditates to practice key, practices spells, and then meditates to practice key and practice spells. Lu Ya used to have the habit of sleeping, But now he simply replaces sleep with meditation and ki training. He only maintains a deep sleep of 1 hour a day to restore his spirit. Even so, Liu Ye feels that time is not enough. Now he is watching the experience of various skills on the panel continue to increase. He wishes he could work hard and have 48 hours a day to madly gain experience. Time spent half a month in Liu Ye's crazy Krypton liver. Late at night that day, Liu Ye woke up from meditation and sighed at the realm on the panel. This cultivation level is improving too slowly. He originally thought that according to the experience of gaining 2 points a day before, he would soon be able to reach the 6th level of ki training or even higher. Now it seems that he was just overthinking. After 24 days of hard work, his realm has just reached the 5th level of ki training. 4/100. It takes almost 6 days to gain 1 point of experience, which means that if you want to reach the 6th level of ki training, it will take nearly 2 years, not to mention that the higher the realm, the harder it is to improve. He finally understood why the strength of the family is generally not high. Lack of resources and relying solely on absorbing the spiritual energy of heaven and earth is too slow. New book, please recommend, collect, and comment. Chapter 6 Joe's Trouble. Liu Ye lacked everything now, but the thing he lacked the most was spirit stones. Spirit stones. Or fucking spirit stones. How about going out to find a way to make money? As soon as this thought came to mind, Liu Ye immediately extinguished it. It was relatively safe in the family. Once he left the family, he would be unfamiliar with the place. He had no experience in going out in this world. If he encountered any danger, he might lose his life. By then, he would not make money, but his life and property would be gone. Maybe even his body would be picked up and refined into a puppet. At that time, it would be fine to serve tea and water, but it would be bad to use his body to do unspeakable things. No, it's too dangerous outside. Now is not the time. It's not too late to talk about it after I have a certain ability to protect myself. I will save my life first and consider other things later. Liu Ye shuddered and decided to follow the will in his heart and talk about it later. Feeling the magic power in his body filling up again, Liu Ye moved his fingers and couldn't help but shoot at the opposite wall. The condensed ki force silently tore through the air, and in an instant it blasted the blue stone wall 10 steps away. The already pitted wall could no longer withstand such high-intensity destruction, and under the attack of the sword ki, it collapsed with a bang, leaving a big hole. Such a change made Liu Ye dumbfounded. He felt the sudden expansion of his vision, and was a little overwhelmed. Why can't I control this hand? Liu Ye hurriedly got out of bed to check, and sat back on the bed after a while. He couldn't fill such a big hole by himself, so he had to find someone to help him fix it tomorrow morning. But it was not a good thing to leave it alone. Liu Ye thought about it, quickly pinched his fingers with both hands, mobilized the magic power in his body, and chanted something. After about 4 breaths, he stretched out his hand and pointed at the hole, and a thick round spike emerged from the edge of the hole, like a bamboo shoot breaking through the ground, and in the blink of an eye it jumped 1 meter high. Then Liu Ye did the same thing, constantly using ground spikes. When his mana was almost exhausted, the collapsed hole was filled with 15 ground spikes. At first glance, it looked like a shrinking chrysanthemum. Liu Ye clapped his hands, expressing satisfaction with his own skills. It seems that I can't experiment with spells in the room in the future. These small spells are not powerful enough now. If I practice some great large-scale spells in the future, I might end up like a demolition team. Liu Ye decided to change his bad habit. After all, every brick and tile in the room that was broken was their Liu family's property. He habitually opened the panel, and the originally barren panel was now very different. Name, Liu Ye. Lifespan, 1788 years old. Realm, 5th level of ki training. 4/100. Skills, Chong Chun Gong proficiency. 157/200. Skills, fire control skill. 27, 2000 cleaning skill. 189 out of 200 golden sword energy mastery. 256/5000 body protection or mastery. 3/200 ground spike mastery. 29/200, magic power, none. Chong Chun Gong's experience increased by dozens of points, and the speed of running the skills also increased a little bit. Fire control is another hobby of Liu Ye. Imagine rubbing a ball of flame with your hands and lighting a firecracker. How cool. The most eye-catching is the golden sword energy. As Liu Ye shoots it whenever he wants, this introductory spell of ki training has been mastered by him. The power of the golden sword energy at the peak of perfection increased exponentially. Lu Yan had tested it when it was just perfected. It could not only break gold and jade within 10 meters, but also break a small tree as thick as a bowl within 20 meters. Moreover, this spell was almost instantaneous for Lu Yan. He could launch the sword energy with just one finger. It was impossible to defend against it, and it could also launch it continuously. With his current 5th level key training power, he could launch nearly 50 golden sword energy without considering the consequences. Lu Yan felt that even if the cultivators at the current key training stage opened the body protection aura, they might not be able to withstand a few of his sword energy. Of course, he needed another experiment to confirm whether the specific effect was as he guessed. Lu Yan decided to go to the elders at home to experiment tomorrow morning. Unfortunately, this night was not peaceful. In the morning light, Lu Yan's door was knocked softly but quickly. Lu Yan woke up from his sleep instantly, quickly got up and opened the door, and saw his eldest brother Lu Yan standing outside the door. His face was not good. Seeing him like this, Lu Yan asked immediately, "Brother, what happened?" Lu Yan is the son of Lu Tong and the grandson of the clan leader. As the first person born in the Yang generation, he is naturally the eldest brother of all the Yang generation of the Lu family. He motioned Lu Yan to follow, then turned around and said quickly, "Second uncle sent a message that a large number of Zhou clan members appeared at the border of the 2 spiritual fields and could compete with my Lu family for the spiritual fields at any time. The clan leader and the 3rd grandfather and others have already rushed there. The clan leader ordered all the family cultivators above the middle stage of key training to gather at the spiritual fields. You and I, the second brother, will separately gather the clan members and meet at the gate of the family in a moment. We will set off together. The Zhou family is attacking." Lu Yan's heart skipped a beat, and his first reaction was that this day had finally come. He couldn't help but move his fingers slightly, and then suppressed his emotions, and split up with Lu Yan to quickly gather the clan members. In just a few minutes, 15 middle-stage key training clan members gathered at the door. Everyone's face was full of anger and tension, but there was no fear at all. The middle stage of key training mainly consisted of the Tong and Yang generation clansmen. There were 9 people of the Tong generation, most of whom were at the 5th and 6th levels of key training. Most of the Yang generation clansmen had just entered the middle stage of key training, and only Lu Yan and Lu Yang were at the 5th level of key training. Seeing that everyone had arrived, Lu Xiao, the 4th of the Tong generation and the peak of the 6th level of key training, spoke up, "Everyone, take me as the vanguard and go to my Lu family's spiritual field together to support the clan leader." The body protection aura is activated in turn, and the magic power is maintained at 80%. Next, we may have to fight with the Zhou family. When the time comes, we must let them know that my Lu family is not a soft persimmon. Many clansmen responded loudly. As Lu Xiao rushed out first, everyone followed and rushed eastward in a sharp arrow formation. The spiritual field is only 5 miles away from the Lu family's land, but even this seemingly short distance is still full of dangers. Poisonous insects, ferocious beasts, evil spirits and weird things may appear. Ordinary people in the middle stage of key training would never dare to travel alone in the dark, as that would be tantamount to committing suicide. Therefore, if they need to go out at night, they often gather together as a group. Only by the collective momentum of the crowd can the hidden dangers in the dark be reduced. Even so, it is not absolutely safe, just like the people who are on the periphery of the spearhead at this moment. Lu Yan was arranged in the middle of the periphery on the left side of the spearhead. In front and behind were elders of the same generation. On his right were brothers and sisters of the same generation who were at the 4th level of key training. "Xiaoya, this is your first time going out. Your 5th uncle tells you that you must pay attention to the surrounding environment when you go out. The protective spiritual light can be continuous as long as it can be continuous. Some small poisonous insects generally cannot penetrate it." Behind Lu Yan, his 5th uncle Lu Meng was alert to the surroundings while imparting his experience of going out to Lu Yan. Lu Yan nodded to show that he understood. Lu Meng continued, "However, when the family travels together, the protective aura is usually turned on every other person. This can ensure safety, reduce the consumption of mana, and preserve strength." In just 5 miles, with the guidance of the experienced family elders, Lu Yan had a basic understanding of traveling in this world, and the team arrived safely at the Lu family's spiritual field. Recommend. Collect. Invest. Chapter 7 Conflict. At this time, the sky was bright and the mist was dispersing. On a flat land, The two groups of people were facing each other. However, compared with the size of the Zhou family's team of more than 30 people, the Lu family's 7 people seemed a little thin. Lu Ye saw the clan leader and his father and others at a glance. At this time, the clan leader was standing at the front with his third grandfather Lu Dinghe, looking at the Zhou team opposite with cold eyes. Under the gaze of Zhou, Lu Ye and others quickly integrated, and the originally thin Lu family's combat power quickly increased. Seeing that everyone had come, Lu Dingbo stepped forward and shouted at the man at the front of the Zhou team with full energy, "Clan leader Zhou, I wonder what you Zhou family has gone to the trouble to come to my Lu family's spiritual field for." Of course, Lu Dingbo knew what the other party was here for, and everyone present knew it. But since the other party did not show an overly anxious attitude, Lu Dingbo was naturally willing to deal with the other party. After Lu Dingbo finished speaking, the middle-aged man at the front of the Zhou team also stepped forward and said with a fake smile, "Patriarch Lu is so arrogant. When did the territory under my Zhou family's feet become your Lu family's territory? If I am not mistaken, the 50 steps behind you is your Lu family's spiritual field. How come you have become more greedy after not seeing me for a few days? If you dare to say that the territory under your feet belongs to your Lu family today, then tomorrow Yankee domain will belong to your Lu family." Zhou Hanming, the patriarch of the Zhou family, spoke with a lot of sarcasm and was about to put a big hat on Lu Dingbo. Lu Dingbo had seen all kinds of storms and waves, and this kind of words could not affect him at all. He grinned, and with his perfect cultivation of the 10th level of key training and his sturdy body, a strong sense of oppression covered the Zhou team. "I don't know whether Yang Kai belongs to my Lu family, but I know that if my Lu family doesn't stand up, your Zhou family will step on the spiritual field that the Holy Sect personally allocated and registered for my Lu family. In my opinion, you are still the most powerful, Chief Zhou." As soon as these words came out, many members of the Zhou team changed their expressions. The long-term rule of the yin-yang demon sect made them instinctively fearful. Lu Ye certainly knew what the chief meant. The yin-yang demon sect stipulated that within its scope, all forces must not fight each other. If there is a huge hatred, the yin-yang demon sect should be applied for a ruling. Those who fight privately will be annihilated. It seems that this rule can maintain stability, but as time goes by, this rule can only restrict the forces in the surrounding area of the yin-yang demon sect. Those who were a little further away basically ignored this rule. Anyway, there were not many other places in Yankee territory, and there were too many monsters and strange things. After killing and robbing, they would blame the monsters and get away with it. The emperor is far away, so of course there is no need to mention small remote families like Lu and Zhou. Seeing the performance of the clan members behind him, Zhou Hanming snorted coldly, and released the same aura of perfect key training, and said, "The Zhou family should obey the rules of the Holy Sect. Besides, today we are here because the elder of our Zhou family's spiritual plans discovered the newly opened 2 acres of spiritual fields half a month ago. Now we are here, just to manage this spiritual field according to the rules of the Holy Sect and then report to the Holy Sect." His Lu Dingbo looked puzzled and surprised. "Is it possible that the Zhou clan leader is old and blurry? Your Zhou family's spiritual field is 200 steps behind you, not in my Lu family." Everyone in the Lu family laughed loudly. After Lu Yang laughed twice, he saw that Lu Ya looked a little nervous, so he poked Lu Ya with his arm and whispered, "I didn't expect that the clan leader is not only strong, but also good at bickering." Lu Ya forced a smile, his eyes still fixed on Zhou opposite. How could Lu Ya not be nervous? In his previous life, he was just an ordinary person. He had seen many scenes of gang fights on TV, but when he really participated in such a hair-trigger battle, there were still supernatural powers, so he couldn't help but be nervous. "Don't be nervous, don't be nervous, there won't be a fight. If a fight really breaks out, there are still clan leaders and others in front." Lu Ye took a few deep breaths and kept comforting himself. After Lu Dingbo finished speaking, Zhou Hanming snorted coldly and said angrily, "The spiritual field was first discovered by the elders of my Zhou family, but it is a little far away from my Zhou family's spiritual field. Today, my Zhou family will bring this spiritual field under my Zhou family's management." After speaking, he waved his hand, and the Zhou family members behind him stepped forward together. "Let's see who dares." A loud shout came from Lu Dingbo's side, and Lu Ya saw that his third grandfather Lu Dinghe was burning with light red magic power. His hair was standing up, thick blue veins were jumping on his arms, and a fierce and bloody aura suddenly burst out. Zhou Hanming looked at Lu Dinghe, who was like a ferocious beast, and his eyelids twitched unconsciously twice. Obviously, He knew Lu Dinghei's fierce reputation very well, but now was not the time to show weakness. He sneered, "Lu Zuanyang Yikiju is really well deserved. Brother Dinghei is still as irritable as ever. Second brother and fourth brother, why don't you have a good chat with Brother Dinghei?" Beside Zhou Hanming, two men who looked a bit like him stepped forward and their cultivation of the 10th level of key training bloomed without reservation. Feeling the breath, the expressions of the Lu family members changed. Lu Yang couldn't help but exclaimed, "Zhou Hanyu has actually reached the 10th level of key training. That's how it is. Originally, the Zhou family was stronger than the Lu family, and now there was another cultivator at the 10th level of key training on the opposite side, and the strength gap between the two sides was further widened." Zhou naturally could not hide the changes in the Lu family's team. Zhou Hanming sneered and asked confidently, "Patriarch Lu, do you have any objection to my Zhou family taking over the spiritual field?" Lu Dinghei snorted coldly and blew out two streams of condensed white air from his nostrils. "Waste is waste. No matter how many there are, they are still waste. I want to see how many people in your Zhou family can stop me today." Lu Dinghei's face remained unchanged. He silently held a top-grade magic weapon Red Wind Sword in his hand, and the protective spiritual light covered his body. Then he said, "If you Zhou family want to take my Lu family's spiritual field by force, then we have to fight. Maybe you Zhou family can win, but how many people here can be left is uncertain." Although the words were light, the cold will contained in them made everyone in the Zhou family feel cold all over. Behind Lu Dingbo, Lu Ya clearly saw that Lu Dingbo made two obscure gestures with his left hand behind his back. The gestures were the Lu family's code words, and the meaning was very simple: burst, retreat. Seeing the clan leader like this, everyone in the Lu family used their protective auras and acted as if they were ready to fight to the death. Lu Ya also used his protective auras, and his heart could not help but tense up. At the same time, he was also ready to burst out a wave and then retreat according to the secret code. The atmosphere became more and more tense, and no one knew who launched the attack first. Anyway, in an instant, the deadlock was broken. Colorful spells and magic weapons flew, and the disgusting smell of blood spread in the blink of an eye. Such a change made Lu Ya's brain buzz and shut down instantly, until an ice cone emitting a cold breath shot towards his head. The strong sense of crisis made Lu Ya's hair stand on end, as if he smelled a strong breath of death. In a flash, he flicked his fingers and golden sword energy swarmed out. Boom! 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 3 consecutive sword energy blasts turned the ice cone into a sky full of ice mist. Lu Ya looked in the direction where the ice cone came from. It was an ordinary middle-aged female cultivator. "You sneak attacked me, die!" The golden sword energy came in an instant, and just one strike caused her body protection aura to shake violently. The second strike, her body protection aura exploded like bubbles. The third strike, the sword light hit the middle-aged female cultivator's abdomen without any defense, and instantly blew her in half. Before the Zhou female cultivator could even let out a wail, another sword energy flew over and blew her head directly. Lu Ya watched with his own eyes as his sword energy easily blew up the opponent's head like a watermelon, and his whole body couldn't stop shaking violently. Adrenaline was secreted crazily in an instant, suppressing his inner fear while also making his eyes turn red in an instant. Recommend. Collect. Invest. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8, Turning the Tide. Wherever his eyes went, they were all the ferocious Zhou clan members. In fact, it only took 2 breaths of time from the time Lu Ya was attacked to the time he killed the other party. Before everyone could react, they saw 2 golden sword energies instantly blasting the protective aura of the 5th level key training cultivator next to the dead female cultivator, and then a sword energy blasted the other party's head. This scene made the Zhou clan members tremble with fear. In their impression, fighting is usually a back and forth, with each party using their own methods. They have never seen such an efficient killing method. The strength of the two is simply not on the same level. "Stop him!" Zhou Hanming's eyes were bloodshot and he gritted his teeth and roared. "Ha ha ha, good, you are worthy of being the offspring of my Lu family. Grandson, I will stop them for you, and you kill all the younger generations of the other side." Lu Dinghei laughed heartily, bursting with momentum all over his body, and rushed towards the 2 10th level key training cultivators of the Zhou family with great momentum. Not good. The Zhou family saw Lu Ye's performance. If he was allowed to perform, only a few people in the late stage of key training would survive, and those in the middle stage of key training would definitely be killed by Lu Ye without mercy. Third brother, go and stop that kid, and the rest of you retreat, Zhou Hanming shouted. At this time, he didn't care about fighting for the spiritual field. Lu Ye's appearance caught them off guard. They had to stop him as soon as possible to preserve the family's vitality. Then a sturdy monk ran towards Lu Ye, and a half-man heir rock and earth shield blocked him in front of him, protecting most of his vital parts. Lu Ye's eyes were red, and his 10 fingers flicked. 5 consecutive sword beams hit the rock and earth shield in front of the sturdy monk, but they could only make the rock and earth shield bumpy and unable to move forward. Yatter, leave this to me. Lu Ye's father Lu Yuan flashed and appeared beside Lu Ye. After being interrupted by him, Lu Ye finally recovered from his bloodthirsty state. Lu Ye looked at the scattered limbs and arms and the strong smell of blood in the air. He felt dizzy and his stomach was churning. He trembled all over and his strength seemed to be drained away in an instant. He killed someone. On Earth, he was a good young man who abided by the law. Even when he was the poorest, he wanted to move bricks instead of robbing a bank. But less than a year after coming to this world, he killed someone. He just moved his fingers easily, but the result shattered his determination. Lu Ye's somewhat confused state naturally fell into everyone's eyes. The Lu clan members spontaneously blocked in front of Lu Ye, and the Zhou clan members took the opportunity to speed up and retreat to the rear. The short distance of 200 steps seemed extremely long to the Zhou clan members. When they reached the range of Zhou's spiritual field, the Lu clan members stopped chasing. Patriarch Zhou, I hope you will remember the location of your own spiritual field next time, and don't let your old eyes be blurred. Lu Dingbo looked at the Zhou clan members who were slowly retreating, and shouted in a good mood. The Lu family won this battle, and the spiritual field will naturally become the foundation of the Lu family. With this resource, the pace of development of the Lu family can finally be relaxed a little. Lu Yuan gently patted Lu Ye's shoulder and comforted him in a deep voice, Son, this step will be experienced sooner or later. Dad knows that this taste is not good, but it will be over after it passes. Lu Ye looked up at Lu Yuan, and Lu Yuan's honest face was full of relief and pride. He killed someone, but his relatives were full of pride, which would never have happened in his previous life. Lu Ye sighed, and the moment after the sigh, he clearly knew his own transformation. From then on, he was no different from the people in this world. Facing Lu Yuan's gaze, Lu Ye nodded and forced a smile, indicating that he was fine. Lu Yuan smiled with satisfaction, patted his shoulder again, and said nothing more. A family conflict that was originally a life and death struggle ended in this way. Some people from the Lu family stayed to clean up the battlefield, and Lu Ye followed a large army back to the family. On the way, the other tribesmen looked at Lu Ye with envy, and the burning gaze made Lu Ye quite uncomfortable. A handsome young man walked quickly to Lu Ye and asked curiously, Second brother, what kind of magic is that? Why is it so powerful? After the young man said this, everyone in the Lu family team even slowed down their steps. Even Lu Dingbo and other people in the late stage of key training at the front of the team focused their attention on Lu Ye. There was nothing to hide about this kind of thing. Lu Ye said truthfully, this is the golden sword energy. You can recognize it, right? Fourth brother, the handsome young man was the fourth brother of the Yang generation, named Lu Yu. After hearing this, he was immediately confused. Golden sword energy. Lu Yu stretched out his hand and pointed at the tree beside him, and a faint sword energy shot out. A crack the size of a cup was immediately made on the tree that was as thick as a person. Second brother, are you talking about this kind of golden sword energy? Lu Ye looked at the gap created by Lu Yu, and compared it with his own power of splitting gold and breaking jade. He nodded calmly, and stretched out his hand and pointed, and the ancient tree as thick as a person was blown in half. Everyone looked at the slowly falling ancient tree, and a thought emerged from the bottom of their hearts uncontrollably, you call this golden sword energy? Facing the confused eyes of everyone, Lu Ye explained helplessly, as long as you practice more, the power of the spell will definitely increase. Everyone in the Lu family, okay, Lu Ye is my Lu family's genius, and the power of the spell has affected a lot. You should learn more from Lu Ye and practice diligently, and you may not be unable to achieve such a level. Seeing this, Lu Dingbo passed the matter over in a few words, and by the way encouraged the younger generation of the family and set a direction for them to strive for. Lu Ye was full of question marks. In his previous life, he had always been other people's children since he was a child. He didn't expect that after traveling through time, he still couldn't escape this fate. Not long after, everyone in the Liu family returned to the clan. In the meeting hall, all the clan members stood quietly in the hall, looking forward with burning eyes. In front of them, Liu Dingbo was standing with his hands behind his back, and there were 4 things on the sandalwood table in front of him. A long sword, a set of shuttle darts, a fiery red tattered Taoist robe, and a pile of spiritual stones with a faint luster next to it. Liu Dingbo coughed twice, and then said, "This time in the battle with Zhou family, my Liu family won a great victory. Not only did we seize the spiritual fields on which we depend for survival, but we also harvested a lot of spoils of war. This is due to the contributions of all of you, and it is also the result of the unity of all of us in my Liu family. However, Liu Ye should be the first to win this battle." Everyone in the Liu family cast their eyes on Liu Ye, and Liu Ye could feel that there was no negative emotion in their eyes, all excitement and peace of mind. Liu Dingbo continued, "It was because of Liu Ye that we were able to catch Zhou off guard and defeat them without any casualties. Therefore, I make the decision that Liu Ye will be the first to select the spoils this time. Thank you King Fang Raoxu for the strong recommendation, thank you very much." Chapter 9, Piffing Fist. As soon as these words came out, everyone in the Liu family cast envious glances at Liu Ye again. Liu Ye naturally understood the importance of Liu Dingbo's words. If he really did that, no one would think there was anything wrong. But how could Liu Ye really do such a stupid thing? In a family like the Liu family, as long as he always behaved well, no one would give him a hand or deduct his resources. Since it was the same whether he was elected or not, then of course he would not be elected. Turning himself into a member of the family instead of a special existence in the family is a good thing for him and the entire family. Therefore, Liu Ye bowed his hands and said, "Patriarch, you must not do this. Liu Ye is just a junior in the family. It is not Liu Ye's turn in terms of emotion and reason. Please don't do this. Just distribute it according to the clan rules." Anyone who heard these words would nod and say yes. Liu Dingbo and the others looked at Liu Ye with more and more satisfaction, and then Liu Dingbo waved his hand. "In this case, then according to the clan rules, the family resources are not abundant, and we will give you resources later according to your contribution to this battle. In addition, the Zhou family was just caught off guard, and it is very likely that the evil intentions are not dead. Recently, Liu Yuan, you should bring more people to the spiritual field to maintain sufficient combat power." Liu Yuan bowed his hands to show that he understood. "Thank you for your hard work. It's still early, so don't delay your cultivation." As Liu Dingbo spoke, the clan members in the hall walked out of the hall one after another to deal with their own affairs, and Liu Ye also walked towards the room. Looking at Liu Ye's back, Liu Dinghe stroked his beard and laughed. "Brother, it seems that our Liu family really has a chance to prosper." Liu Dingbo also nodded, and then a ruthless look flashed in his eyes. "Originally, I didn't want to break up with Zhou so early, but now, for the prosperity of my Liu family, I can't keep Zhou," Liu Dinghe said excitedly. "Brother, have you decided?" Liu Dingbo nodded, with a gentle smile in his eyes, and said, "Speaking of which, as the eldest brother, I haven't visited my younger sister for a long time. It seems that I have to go to Wang's family. The family depends on you, the third brother, to take care of it. Brother, don't worry, with me here, the family will be fine." 3 days passed in a flash, and Zhou never appeared at the border of Liu's spiritual field again. The two families fell into a strange calm. Liu Ye still practiced every day, and recently he had new gains. In the small courtyard in front of Liu Ye's house, Liu Ye was practicing a set of boxing. He was seen with a swift and agile footsteps, and his movements were extremely smooth. With a blessing of magic power, every time he exerted force, he would make a fluttering sound of breaking through the air. Between each move, the fist wind whistled, and the power was quite good. For ordinary people, there was no trace of a beginner at all, as if he was a martial arts master who had been immersed in boxing for 20 years. After another quarter of an hour, Liu Ye finally ran out of strength and slowly withdrew his posture. He didn't feel it when practicing boxing before, but when he stopped, Liu Ye suddenly felt sore all over, sweating like mercury, and his Taoist robe was soaked. Liu Ye simply took off his Taoist robe and wore only a pair of trousers. Then he picked up the boiled water prepared in advance and gulped down 2 big mouthfuls. This split peak boxing was found by Liu Dinghe from the Sutra Pavilion and given to Liu Ye. According to Liu Dinghe, practicing boxing can nourish ki and strength and courage, enhance physical strength and reaction speed, etc., and it also has a certain effect on combat. Lu Yu knew that this was a solution found based on his previous performance. Although the elders in the clan did not say much, they were all using practical actions to help him solve the problem. After Lu Yu practiced this set of boxing, it appeared in the skill panel, but things became wrong afterwards. As Lu Yu practiced for a long time, this set of boxing was constantly changing, and the training intensity was getting higher and higher. Until now, every time Lu Yu practiced boxing, he had to be very alert, concentrate on every move and every style, and there could not be any deviation in the movements. The whole body was as tight as a bow, and every muscle had to exert force. Although this kind of boxing was very consuming, the training effect was extremely amazing. In just 3 days, Lu Yu's body, which had been somewhat neglected in exercise, had already emerged with subtle muscle lines, his eyes were shining, and the whole person was much more energetic. Pinching the muscles on his arm, Lu Yu was quite satisfied. This boxing is just an entry level 1, and I don't know what it will be like when the level is improved. The body is the capital of revolution, and the same is true for cultivating immortals. At noon, Lu Yu came to Lu Yu's courtyard carrying a large food box. After Lu Yu stopped practicing boxing, he said, "Second brother, the food is here. The clan knows that you are now training your body and consuming a lot of energy, so we specially prepared spiritual rice and thick earth pork for you." Hearing this, Lu Yu quickly ran to the stone table. As one of the few full-time cultivators in the family, Lu Yu can guarantee a meal of spiritual rice every day, but as a first-level intermediate monster, thick earth pork can only be eaten a little every 5 days. After all, this is a monster comparable to the middle stage of key training. Compared with spiritual rice, the spiritual energy and nutrients contained in monster meat are richer, and the effect produced by being eaten by cultivators is also stronger, but relatively speaking, the price is much more expensive. One low-grade spiritual stone can buy 5 caddies of spiritual rice, but it may not be able to buy 1 caddy of first-level intermediate monster meat. This is the cultivation resource that the Lu family has squeezed out with the greatest effort. Looking at the spiritual rice and monster meat in the food box, Lu Yu quietly swallowed his saliva. There are many people in the family, and the taste of monster meat is so good that even they can't eat it twice a month. Lu Yu put down the food box, turned around and left. It would be a bit torturous to watch it if he couldn't eat it. "Hey, wait a minute, Lao Si," Lu Yu laughed and said. He first reached out to pick up a piece of pork from the plate and put it in his mouth, and then picked up another piece and put it in Lu Yu's mouth. It's delicious to eat together. Feeling the long-lost rich meat flavor in their mouths, the two laughed. Lu Yu did not stay. After eating the meat slices stuffed by Lu Yu, he left quickly. Lu Yu did not say anything to keep him. He sat at the stone table and picked up the bowl and chopsticks to eat quickly. With 2 bowls of rice and a plate of pork in his stomach, Lu Yu's energy consumed by practicing boxing quickly recovered. He did not delay any more, sitting cross-legged on the spot to meditate and absorb the spiritual energy contained in the food. After running Chongchun Gong for 3 weeks, all the spiritual energy in the food was absorbed, and Lu Yu stood up. He jumped twice on the spot, feeling the power hidden in his body, and then he looked at the bronze man standing in a corner of the courtyard. The next second, Lu Yu flicked his hands, and golden sword energy rushed towards the bronze man, and then Lu Yu quickly approached and used boxing on the bronze man. Fist marks hit the bronze man, making continuous sounds. When the boxing was over, Lu Yu changed his movements, and sword energy began to mix in his boxing, and he kept attacking the bronze man. This is how Lu Yu fights after thinking. When others think he is a long-range turret and try to get close, he will use extremely fierce boxing to fight in close combat. When others think he is a body-refining monk, I'm sorry, the golden sword energy with a limit of 50 rounds will let the other party know what the 6 meridians divine sword is. Thanks to King Fang Raoxu for the strong recommendation, thank you very much. Chapter 10, Chongchun Gong Small Success. After practicing with the bronze man for a while, Lu Yu returned to the house, picked up a low-grade spirit stone, and sat cross-legged again to practice. Lu Yu has been using spirit stones to practice these days. He could not be so extravagant before, but after the last distribution of the spoils, he earned 17 spirit stones, so he could let go and be extravagant. With the help of spirit stones, Lu Yu's practice progress is much faster. According to his experience in the past 3 days, if he consumes 1 low-grade spirit stone a day to practice, the experience of cultivation will be shortened from the original 6 days and a half to 5.5 days. In general, the effect is still good. After meditating for 2 hours, Liu Ye opened his eyes and opened the skill panel. Name, Liu Yan. Lifespan, 1788 years old. Realm, 5th level of key training. 5/100, Kung Fu, Chong Chun Kun proficiency. 192/200, skills, fire control skill. 241, 2000 cleaning skill. 204, 2000 golden sword energy mastery. 889/5000 body protection or mastery. 63 out of 200 ground spike mastery. 94 out of 200 peak splitting fist entry level. 87/100, magic power, none. With continuous practice, Liu Ya's skill panel is constantly changing. Liu Ye took a quick look and was a little surprised. Because in the Kung Fu column, Chong Chun Kun's experience is about to break through. The Kung Fu is going to be advanced. After the magic is advanced, there will be great improvements in all aspects. I wonder if the Kung Fu advancement will speed up my practice. Liu Ye didn't have too many thoughts about Kung Fu experience, mainly because the experience of Kung Fu is different from that of magic. Any spell will gain a little experience if Liu Ye practices it once, but the Gong method will only gain a little experience if it is practiced for 10 cycles. One cycle is about 6 to 7 minutes, and 10 cycles is about an hour. That is to say, even if Liu Ye practices the Gong method all day long, he will only gain 24 points of experience a day, not to mention that he also has to practice magic, boxing, etc. However, in order to restore the mana in his body, Liu Ye still has to meditate many times a day, spending nearly 10 hours. Thinking of this, Liu Ye was a little excited. What he lacked now was time. If the Gong method could shorten his meditation time, it would undoubtedly be very good news for him. Liu Ye closed the skill panel and sat cross-legged again. Today he would practice the Chong Chun Gong to small success. Holding the spirit stone in his hand, Liu Ye quickly fell into a state of practice. There is no time in practice. When Liu Ye opened his eyes, it was already late at night. After practicing for 8 hours in a row, Liu Ye did not feel any discomfort. He opened the skill panel as soon as possible. I saw that the experience of Chong Chun Gong had changed from proficient 192 out of 200 inches to minor success 1/2000 inches. Liu Ye closed his eyes and felt it, and found that both the speed of the operation of the technique and the speed of absorbing spiritual energy had increased by about 20%, and some obscure places before had become unimpeded at this moment, which also meant that his future practice speed and mana recovery speed would increase a lot. Liu Ye roughly estimated that the realm experience should only take 5 days to increase a little. However, looking at the 2000 experience points, Liu Ye had a headache. God knows why the experience from proficient to minor success on this panel actually jumped 10 times. However, thinking of the effect of the technique after minor success, Liu Ye was relieved. It's just 20,000 Haoshan. Liu Ye roughly calculated that as long as he worked without sleep, he could practice the technique to the great success in 3 months. Thinking of this, it seems that these 2000 experience points are not unacceptable. In a year at most, his Chong Chun Gong will definitely be a great success. The more Liu Ye thought about it, the more excited he became. He seemed to have seen the scene of his cultivation speed soaring in the future. This made his fingers move, but then he used his great willpower to forcibly stop the urge to shoot at the wall. It's safer to shoot outside. You can't shoot inside, otherwise the house will collapse and someone will die. The next morning, Liu Ye's face was full of joy. After his actual test, the improvement brought to him by the Chong Chun Gong with a small success was too great. He estimated that in the future, his daily meditation and key training time could be shortened to about 8 hours. The extra 2 hours meant that he could learn more spells and gain more experience. To describe it in 4 words, that is, the future is promising. Keep going, Liu Ye looked up at the sun that had just risen, took a deep breath, and continued to practice boxing. The more Liu Ye practiced this Piffin boxing, the stronger he became. The feeling of his body improving all the time was really addictive. Before learning boxing, he mainly used the golden sword energy, supplemented by the earth spike body protection aura. Now, he mainly used boxing and golden sword energy, supplemented by the rest. If it were in his previous life, with his training method, he might be crippled within a week. But here he has spiritual rice to eat every day, and there is a bug-level existence like aura to comb his body and restore the parts damaged by boxing, so there will be no problem at all. After several rounds of continuous fighting, Liu Ye stopped to rest panting. Looking at the boxing that was about to be upgraded on the skill panel, Lu Ya quickly finished his breakfast and continued to practice boxing. Punching again and again, Lu Ya's understanding of this split-peak boxing became deeper and deeper. Every time he punched, more and more muscle groups were exerted, and the power he exerted became greater and greater. It's almost there. Until another round was over, Lu Ya kept the split fist posture motionless and fell into a state of concentration. If someone watched closely, they would find that under the Taoist robe, Lu Ya's muscles were surging rapidly, constantly contracting and relaxing. During this process, sweat continued to flow out from all parts of his body. Lu Ya maintained this posture for more than 10 minutes before waking up from his meditation. After waking up, Lu Ya shook his body gently, and a series of popping sounds came from his body. Comfortable, Lu Ya clenched his fists, feeling the power contained in them. He thought to himself, this power, I guess one punch can kill me who just crossed over. Not only power, but also speed. Lu Ya crouched down, his thigh muscles twisted, and the next second he suddenly rushed out. In just 3 steps, he crossed a distance of nearly 15 meters and appeared in front of the bronze man in an instant. This speed can already catch up with the speed when I use my magic power. If I use my magic power, the speed will increase a little bit. If I encounter any danger at that time, I can attack or run. After the rough test, Lu Ya wanted to turn into Donnie Yen at this moment and said with full momentum, I want to fight 10. After a short while of self-indulgence, Lu Ya returned to his previous state and continued to practice. A hard-working person will never waste time, even for a second. Readers who think this is good, please recommend it. Collect it. Invest. Chapter 11, talking about magic in the martial arts arena. At noon, in the Lu family's sutra library, Lu Ya and Lu Dinghe both sat cross-legged on the roof, with their 5 hearts facing the sky, and closed their eyes to meditate. For so many days, Lu Ya would come here every noon to ask Lu Dinghe about the practice of Zuanyang Yikiju. Zuanyang Yikiju is indeed a superior magic that the Lu family's ancestors relied on to become famous, and it is extremely difficult to practice. For example, Lu Yan, although he has been learning from Lu Dinghe for more than 20 days and has mastered all the key points, his eyes are almost blinded by looking at the sun every day, but he still has no sign of mastering it. Although Lu Ya didn't say it, his irritability and self-doubt were growing in his heart. Lu Dinghe's face was golden red, and he exhaled slowly. The temperature of his exhaled breath was so high that even the air around his mouth and nose was slightly distorted. After a few minutes, Lu Ya woke up from his meditation. Seeing Lu Ya wake up, Lu Dinghe asked with concern, how is it, little Yair? Lu Ya smiled bitterly and shook his head. Seeing this, he looked at Lu Ya, with a trace of regret in his eyes. It's been almost a month. Is it really impossible for my Lu family's Zuanyang Yikiju to be passed down? However, Lu Dinghe restrained his emotions very well and comforted him, don't worry, people choose the skills, and skills choose people. If this Zuanyang Yikiju is so easy to practice, my Lu family would not have fled to the edge of Yanqi domain. In short, visualize the sun more often, absorb a breath of the sun's true ki, and use it to ignite the heart fire in your body. Your body will be like a furnace with a heart fire as firewood, and use the heart fire to temper your physical body. Once you practice it, ordinary weirdness will not be able to face you and me directly. Thank you, third grandpa. Yair understands. Lu Ya knew the power of Zuanyang Yikiju, but the facts were in front of him. The true ki of the midday sun is not so easy to absorb. Every time you absorb it, there will be fire poison remaining in your body. This fire poison will be refined and expelled from your body after it is connected into Zuanyang Yikiju. But if you can't practice Zuanyang Yikiju, the fire poison can only be slowly metabolized and excreted through accumulation. If you ignore the fire poison and practice it forcefully, it is likely to detonate the fire poison, causing the poison to attack your heart and die. Therefore, the practice of Zuanyang Yikiju takes about 45 days. Once you fail to master it within this period, it means that you have no chance to learn this magic and can never learn it again. Unless you find a natural treasure that can remove the fire poison and solve your own hidden dangers. However, compared with the value of natural treasures, this mere magic is not worth such extravagance. After saying goodbye to Lu Dinghe, Lu Ya walked back quickly, thinking about how to master Zuanyang Yikiju along the way, and unknowingly walked to the family martial arts field. Second brother. Second brother. A burst of excited calls came from not far away, interrupting Lu Ya's thoughts. He turned his head and saw that his brothers and sisters of the same Yang generation were looking at him in the martial arts field. It was the fourth brother Lu Yu who just called him. Seeing Lu Ye turning his head, Lu Yu hurried over and said, "Second brother. We were discussing the power of spells, and we didn't expect to see you here. Second brother, can you tell us how to improve the power of spells, such as the golden sword energy?" Lu Ye looked at the eager look in the eyes of the people who came up, and remembered the care of the clan leader and others, and nodded readily. Seeing Lu Ye nod, everyone held their breath and stared, waiting for Lu Ye's explanation. Lu Ye thought for a moment. If he was explaining spells such as body protection aura, he was not very sure. But for the golden sword energy, he had already mastered it and had his own understanding and insights. It was not difficult to explain it to these brothers and sisters who were generally in the early stages of key training. In my opinion, the key points of using the golden sword energy are nothing more than two aspects, speed and power. Once Lu Ye started talking, he couldn't stop. He analyzed his understanding of the golden sword energy in a simple and easy to understand way. When it came to the key points, he would personally demonstrate it. With Lu Ye's two-pronged explanation, everyone's understanding of the golden sword key increased rapidly. Half an hour passed in a flash, and Lu Ye stopped explaining. "Okay, now if you have any questions, you can ask them." After Lu Ye finished speaking, Lu Yu spoke up immediately. "Second brother, according to what you said, the power of the golden sword key will indeed increase, but I have also been practicing these days. Although there is progress, it is only about 10%, far from the level you said." For this kind of question, Lu Ye had already prepared a corresponding solution. Haste makes waste. The practice of magic is just like our practice of key. Without long-term accumulation, how can we achieve a breakthrough in realm? Do you give up practicing just because you haven't achieved a breakthrough in realm? As the saying goes, accumulation leads to success. When you practice to a certain level and your understanding of magic reaches its peak, the magic you cast will naturally undergo a qualitative change. A little girl with a bun looked at Lu Ye seriously, and asked with curiosity in her big black and white eyes, "Second brother, have you achieved this qualitative change?" Lu Ye looked at her with a smile on his face and said, "Fifth sister is really smart, but second brother has just realized that there is still a long way to go." Fifth sister Lu Jing, the fifth in the Yang generation, is the daughter of sixth uncle Lu Zan. She is only 14 years old now. She is lively and curious. When she was a child, Lu Ye and others were often annoyed by her. "Ah!" Lu Jing exclaimed, and then asked in disbelief, "Second brother, are you saying that your golden sword energy is not the strongest, and it can be stronger?" Lu Ye thought of the experience of the 5,000 years of golden sword energy, nodded firmly and said, "The Tao has no end, then I will work harder to practice, and I will be as strong as second brother in the future." Lu Jing clenched his fist and said confidently. "Then fifth sister, you have to work hard. Second brother will not stop and wait for you to become stronger slowly." Lu Ye looked at the girl's serious look, laughed, and the worries in his heart dissipated. "I also want to work hard to practice." "Me too." A group of half-grown children spoke one after another, their eyes full of light. After the episode, Lu Ye quickly returned to the house. He turned out a box from under the bed, and after opening it, the spirit stones inside were neatly arranged. "I only have 18 spirit stones left. If I take one a day, I can only last for half a month at most. Besides, I have to keep a few spirit stones for emergency use, so I have even fewer for cultivation." Lu Ye took out a spirit stone, closed the box, and put it back under the bed. Sitting cross-legged, holding the spirit stone in his hand, Lu Ye sighed for no reason. The speed of realm improvement is still too slow. It will take more than a year and a half to reach the 6th level of key training. If others heard this, they might fight with Lu Ye on the spot. It takes more than a year to go from the 5th level of key training to the 6th level of key training. This is something that many cultivators dare not even think about. He actually dared to complain about the slow speed. Readers who think it's good, please recommend it. Collect it. Invest. Chapter 12 Uncle Lu Feng. There is no time in cultivation, and in the blink of an eye, another 10 days have passed. With the first ray of sunshine in the morning, Lu Ye started a new day. He was standing in the courtyard with his upper body bare, practicing the piffin fist at a very slow speed, and his muscles were sometimes surging like water, and sometimes hard as rocks. The seemingly soft movements hit the air, but made a whoosh sound of breaking wind. His body seemed to turn into a bottomless vortex, and strands of spiritual energy from heaven and earth were constantly absorbed and swallowed by him, nourishing his body. After 10 days of hard training, his pithing fist was almost close to a small success, and his body became stronger and stronger with the practice of boxing. The previous weak scholar temperament was no longer there, replaced by a streamlined body full of masculinity. If you put the current Liu Ye and the Liu Yat who just crossed over together, it is hard to imagine that a person can change so much in a short period of time. 1 hour. 2 hours. As Liu Yat threw a punch, a force of ki as big as his fist rushed out from his fist, crossed a distance of 6 or 7 meters, and slammed into the head of the bronze man, causing the bronze man to sway back and forth. Breakthrough. Liu Ye opened his eyes flashing with brilliance, and he couldn't hide his joy. The next second, his muscles trembled violently again, and a lot of sweat poured out of his body, forming a hot white mist visible to the naked eye. After a long while, the hot white mist slowly dissipated. Liu Ye jumped twice on the spot, and suddenly found that the trousers that originally reached his ankles now only reached the ankles. Huh? I've grown taller. Liu Ye roughly measured and found that after his boxing skills became minor, the tempering of his body made him grow about 3 centimeters taller. Not bad. I don't know what level I am now, although Liu Ye felt that his strength must have exceeded the scope of the 5th level of ki training. He didn't know exactly how much because he had no reference. He looked at a bronze man in the courtyard. This sparring bronze man was 2 meters tall, made of brass, and weighed 1,000 pounds. Liu Ye walked up to the bronze man, held his waist with both hands, and then suddenly exerted force. With a whoosh, the bronze man weighing 1,000 pounds was easily lifted over his head as if it were cotton. Liu Ye held the bronze man and did 2 squats, but still did not feel too much pressure, so he put it down. The bronze man landed with a muffled boom. Liu Ye then conducted a series of tests. Finally, he concluded that if he ran at full speed now, he could take a step of 6 or 7 meters, and he could jump directly onto the roof with a strong jump. He had at least 1,000 pounds of strength in one arm. This was just the improvement in physical fitness brought about by the minor success of the pithing fist. If we only talk about the fist, Liu Ye felt that if a punch was hit, he might not be able to withstand it. The reason was that Liu Ye lacked a correct understanding of the power system of this world, or he came from the imagination of the earth, and could not accurately judge what level the practitioners of this world could achieve. It's true that poverty limits imagination. Liu Ye looked at his small courtyard, and thought about the family territory of only 100 acres, and laughed at himself helplessly. But it's not bad, after all, I'm not a casual cultivator. In fact, Liu Ye understood that this background was the most suitable for him. He did not travel directly to become a casual cultivator, nor did he travel to become a genius disciple of a large sector family. The former is in danger of death and has not yet completed the inheritance, while the latter's elders are too powerful and may find that Liu Ye has been replaced by someone. The former is likely to die of hunger, natural disasters, fighting, or even an unknown evil spirit who happens to pass by, while the latter is even more miserable. Once the identity is exposed, it is humane to turn into ashes directly. If the soul is extracted and refined, it's a tingling thought. Shaking these thoughts away, Liu Ye put on the Taoist robe, slapped a cleaning spell on his body, and walked out the door. Speaking of it, it is really convenient to cultivate immortals. If the body is dirty, it can be solved directly by a cleaning spell. If you need to make a fire, you can light it directly with a flick of your finger. Ask third grandpa to be a sparring partner? No, it's not appropriate. Third grandpa is so old and in poor health, so don't bother him. Ask father. No. Now Joe is still eyeing us covetously. Father doesn't have the time. Liu Ye thought about it and finally found a very suitable target, that is, his uncle, the eldest of the same generation, Lu Feng, a spirit beast master of the 9th level of ki training, who is mainly responsible for feeding the spirit beasts of the family. The spirit beast enclosure is right next to the family territory, covering an area of more than 20 acres, which is the size of 2 football fields. Uncle Lu Feng built a yard next to the spirit beast enclosure and lived there usually to take care of the spirit beasts. Not long after, Liu Ye saw the spirit beast enclosure surrounded by a fence, and Uncle Lu Feng who was leading the tribe to feed the spirit beasts. Uncle Lu Feng was explaining to the tribesman next to him while pouring the feed in his hand into the trough. When he saw Liu Ye coming, he handed over the work in his hand to the tribesman, greeted Liu Ye, and asked with a smile, "Liu Ye, how come you have time to come to Uncle's place today, Uncle?" Liu Ye bowed. "Liu Ye, you came at the right time. Last night, A three-eyed blue flame dog wanted to steal our colorful pheasants. Your uncle and a few others killed it. I stewed it in the pot since morning. Today, Uncle will give you a good nourishment. Thank you, Uncle. I was wondering why my legs and feet involuntarily came to Uncle's place today. It turned out that there was something delicious. Lu Ya smiled and said, "It seems that I am very lucky today. You are a genius of our Lu family. Of course you are lucky." Lu Feng smiled and led Lu Ya into the yard. Lu Ya saw at a glance that on the left side of the yard, a large iron pot was steaming on the stove, and two female tribesmen were busy at the stove. Seeing Lu Feng coming back, the two quickly set up bowls and chopsticks on the stone table beside them, and a few side dishes and a large pot of dog meat were soon served. Lu Feng invited Lu Ya to sit down. "Come, Lu Ya, sit down, let's eat and talk." Lu Ya was not polite either. After his uncle sat down, he sat down and said with a smile, "Thank you, Uncle. I really benefited from your help today." "Hey, don't mention benefiting from your help. This beast has caused the most harm to our Lu family's spiritual beasts. We never caught it before, but this time we finally caught it. We even skinned it and hung it outside the pen." Lu Feng waved his hand and continued, "We only have two kinds of spiritual beasts in our small family, the first level intermediate thick earth pig and the primary colorful pheasant. This beast comes at least 2 pheasants at a time. How can we withstand its harm? This time we caught it, and I feel much more at ease, Uncle." As a first-level intermediate monster, the three-eyed blue flame dog is cautious and cunning by nature, and is extremely difficult to tame. It often does some sneaky things, but perhaps because of this, it is still a great tonic, and is more nutritious than the thick earth pig at the same level. Readers who think it is good, please recommend it. Collect it. Invest in it. Chapter 13: The Lost Autumn Hunt. Uncle, you mean, in addition to this three-eyed blue flame dog, there are many monsters attacking our Lu family's spirit beasts? Haven't we thought about clearing out all the monsters around? Lu Yang asked casually while eating the hot dog meat. Lu Feng swallowed the food in his mouth, smiled bitterly, and said, "I thought about it. Of course I didn't think about it. There have been years when our Lu family's property and even our clan members were lost in the mouths of monsters. But to be honest, there are more monsters around than our Lu family members, and fortunately they belong to different races. If they were the same race, I'm afraid even our Lu family would have ceased to exist long ago." "Is the environment around the family so bad?" Lu Ya's lowered eyes flashed with a trace of relief. Fortunately, he didn't think of finding an opportunity to escape from the family and fight alone, otherwise the grass on his grave would probably be 3 feet high now. No, he might not even have a grave. "But Uncle, if we let this situation go on, there will be more and more monsters around the family, and sooner or later there will be a problem." Lu Ya frowned slightly, with a little worry in his tone. "Alice, who said it wasn't? As early as when our ancestors were alive, our Lu family would organize a cleaning activity every September to eliminate the hidden dangers around the family and give the younger generation a good opportunity to exercise." Lu Feng looked up at the direction of the family meeting hall, paused for a while and continued, "At that time, with the foundation building ancestors in charge, these monsters could not make any waves at all. But when the ancestors passed away, our Lu family's strength gradually weakened, and the annual autumn hunt was gradually forgotten with the passage of time. Until now, only the roads leading to a few places like Mandrill City and Wuhou Market are regularly cleaned by the clan leader and the elders, and the rest of the places have basically become the world of monsters. That's it." Lu Ya suddenly realized, and then he became a little curious about the Mandrill City and Wuhou Market mentioned by Lu Feng. In his memory, he had never heard of these place names. He didn't know whether it was because of his low cultivation level that he couldn't visit them, or for other reasons. Lu Ya thought about it, but didn't ask about his curiosity about these place names. One day, he would know. The two of them talked while eating, and soon they finished the whole pot of dog meat. Lu Ya then said, "Uncle, this time I came to you mainly to ask you about cultivation issues." "Okay." Lu Feng raised his eyebrows, slapped his thigh, and said straightforwardly, "If you have any questions, just ask them." "Uncle, I will tell you everything I know." Lu Ya's purpose of coming here was naturally to determine his current strength through Uncle Lu Feng, so that he could have a clear understanding of himself. However, after communicating with Uncle Lu Feng, he keenly discovered that there was useful information in Uncle's words, that is, the monsters around the family mentioned by Uncle. But if he directly said that he wanted to hunt monsters, Lu Feng would definitely reject it because it was too dangerous outside. Therefore, Lu Ye decided to complete the first goal of this trip. He thought for a while and said, "Uncle, I have made some progress in practicing magic recently, but I lack actual combat experience. So I would like to trouble you to help me see what my nephew is lacking." When Lu Ye said this, Lu Feng understood what he meant. Lu Feng thought about Lu Ye's performance during the previous conflict with Zhou and found that it was indeed the case. The general middle stage key training could not fight with Lu Ye at all. "Okay, uncle is free, let's go outside." Lu Ye followed Lu Feng to the open space outside the yard, and the two stood face to face with 5 steps apart. Lu Feng said straightforwardly, "Nephew, use any magic you want, uncle can withstand it." Lu Ye bowed respectfully and said, "Uncle, nephew wants to test the power of magic first, please use the protective aura." Lu Feng pinched his hands and soon used the protective aura. A thick layer of magic shield enveloped his body, which looked extremely solid. "Uncle, be careful." Seeing that his uncle was ready, Lu Ye did not hesitate and raised his hand to shoot out a golden sword energy with 50% power. The sword energy hit the protective aura in the blink of an eye, causing layers of mana fluctuations, and then quickly subsided. Seeing this, Lu Feng felt relieved and said again, "Ha, nephew, don't worry, attack uncle with all your strength." Lu Ye did not say anything more, and the golden sword energy continued to increase in power. Bang! Another sword energy hit, and Lu Feng's protective aura suddenly dimmed a little. After a breath, it returned to its original state under the blessing of Lu Feng's mana. This powerful power made Lu Feng's eyelids twitch, and then he ordered loudly, "Nephew, maintain this power and attack with all your strength." After receiving Lu Feng's order, Lu Ye no longer hesitated, flicked his 10 fingers, and the golden sword energy swarmed out. In an instant, a series of roars sounded at the position where Lu Feng was, and the dust stirred up by the explosion of aura almost buried him completely. Bang! Wow! After 3 breaths, Lu Feng rushed out from the center of the explosion with his clothes a little messy. Seeing that the protective aura on his body had disappeared, Lu Ye immediately dissipated the magic power gathered at his fingertips. Lu Feng patted the dust off his body and said with lingering fear, "Nephew, your golden sword energy is so powerful. According to my estimation, it should be comparable to a first-level intermediate spell. My 9th-level protective aura only supported 17 blows before it broke. A cultivator of the same level may not be able to withstand your 3 sword energies." Lu Ye listened to Lu Feng's conclusion very seriously. This was the judgment of a 9th-level cultivator, which was enough to play a key role in his evaluation of his own strength. However, in addition to the magic power to protect the body, the cultivators also have magic tools, magic treasures, and talismans, etc. You must not be careless. For example, if I, uncle, resist your sword energy and use magic tools to attack you, there is a high probability that you will be killed before my protective aura is broken, and all dangers will be resolved at that time." Lu Ye nodded and said, "Thank you, uncle. Nephew understands." "Well, is there anything else that needs to be tested?" Lu Feng asked casually. Lu Ye nodded seriously, "Uncle, nephew really needs to trouble you again." In the next half an hour, Lu Ye tested everything he had learned on Lu Feng. After the minor success of the ground spike, Lu Ye now only needs 3 breaths to perform it, and the length of the ground spike has become about 1.5 meters. There is almost no fluctuation when breaking the ground. The tip of the spike is extremely sharp, and the shield-breaking effect is extremely strong. When Lu Ye performed it for the first time, the ground spike instantly poked Lu Feng's protective aura into concave shape, almost reaching the root of Lu Feng's thigh. This unexpected change frightened Lu Feng so much that he broke out in a cold sweat. His magic power exploded and he jumped to the side. Even a cultivator at the 9th level of key training could not remain calm in the face of the sharp spikes that were about to poke his lower body. If the power of the spikes frightened Lu Feng into cold sweat, then the physical fitness displayed by Lu Ye made Lu Feng excited. Lu Feng took 2 deep breaths, and when his breathing became smooth, he said, "I didn't expect that your physical training has improved so much." After completing all the tests, Lu Ye thanked him sincerely. "I would like to thank you for your guidance, uncle. Readers who think it's good, please recommend it. Collect it. Invest." Chapter 14, First Experience of Outing in the World of Immortal Cultivation. After half an hour, Lu Ye had completely understood his own strength. Not to mention the golden sword energy, the ground spikes of the minor success were enough to threaten the cultivators in the late stage of key training, and the strength of the protective aura of the miner's success was almost equal to the protective aura of the 7th level of key training. In terms of pure strength, he was about 30% stronger than Lu Feng, and his speed of full strength burst was even faster than Lu Feng, who used mana to accelerate. When the 9th level of key training rushed at full speed, he could almost reach 15 meters per second, and Lu Ya's speed of full strength burst was beyond this range. This also meant that if he fought alone, he could at least escape the hands of the 9th level of key training, and even kill the cultivator without any defense. After realizing this, Lu Ya finally felt much more stable, and it seemed that he could implement the next plan. Uncle, I wonder if there is a map of the surrounding area in the family, preferably one with the distribution of monsters marked. Why are you asking this, nephew? Do you want to go out hunting? Lu Feng asked in surprise. This kind of thing can't be concealed at all. Lu Yu nodded and admitted immediately, Uncle, nephew does have this plan. The last conflict with Zhou was not done well. The reason is that I have too little experience, so nephew plans to gain more practical experience. Faced with Lu Ya's request, Lu Feng was silent. As an elder of the family, he certainly hopes to see talented descendants in the family, but he doesn't want such descendants to die early. Nephew, going outside the family to hunt monsters in the middle stage of key training may be a bit reckless. Uncle, you have experienced my strength yourself. As long as I am careful, it should be fine. And since I have this idea, even if you refuse me, won't I go out? You gave me a map, so I can be safer when I go out. Otherwise, if I sneak out alone, I will be in the dark and the risk of getting into trouble will be greater. Lu Ya's well-reasoned explanation finally convinced Lu Feng. It took more than half an hour for Lu Feng to tell Lu Ya all the types, numbers and danger levels of monsters around the family, and Lu Ya remembered them one by one. Thank you, Uncle. I am grateful. No, Uncle doesn't know whether this is good or bad, but nephew Lu Ya, think more about the family. No matter what happens, the family will be your indestructible backing. Nephew understands. Lu Ya said goodbye to Lu Feng and returned to the house. After carefully recalling the distribution of monsters around the family, Lu Ya slowly exhaled a breath of turbid air. With this map, he can go to the wild to kill monsters, accumulate practical experience and obtain cultivation resources. There are many ways to promote the rapid improvement of cultivators. The most recognized and efficient way is to absorb the spiritual energy of heaven and earth from the spirit stone and quickly accumulate mana. The second is all kinds of elixirs that improve the efficiency of key training, and then there are spiritual rice and spirit beast meat rich in spiritual energy. Now the spiritual rice and spirit beast meat supplied by the family can no longer sustain Lu Ya's consumption. If he wants to maintain or speed up the speed of cultivation, he can only find a way himself. What he was planning to do now was to go to the wild and kill monsters. Even if it was an ordinary first-level primary monster, the spiritual energy and nutrition contained in its meat was much more than ordinary food. Only food containing spiritual energy could speed up his practice. As for danger, was there no danger? Lu Yu always believed that when facing danger, the best way to deal with it is to have enough strength to deal with it. However, before going out, he must be fully prepared. He only has one life, so he must cherish it. There is not much to prepare. According to the introduction of his uncle, he may encounter evil spirits in the wild, so the exorcism technique that monks must learn when camping in the wilderness. It is too dark at night, so it is best to learn a lighting technique. Of course, the breath-retaining technique that can hide the breath is indispensable. There are many other spells, but Uncle Lu Feng did not let Lu Ya learn them, not because he was afraid that he would bite off more than he could chew, but simply because they did not have them. Looking at the time, it was almost noon, so Lu Ya simply went directly to the Sutra Pavilion. After practicing the Zuanyang Yikiju, he took these 3 spells back to learn. Exorcism is a technique where a cultivator uses his magic power to communicate with the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and then uses mantras to act on the soul, which can make the evil spirits feel uncomfortable and disgusted, thereby achieving the purpose of expelling the evil spirits. The breath-retaining technique can reduce the fluctuation of one's own magic power, as well as the breath, etc. These 2 spells are quite standard, and there is nothing too special about them. However, after Lu Ya saw the illumination technique, his expression became a little subtle. The illumination technique uses magic power to the eyes, making them emit a faint light, so as to achieve the effect of seeing things in the dark. The specific effect is that after performing the illumination technique, the eyes will emit 2 faint rays of light, just like the laser eyes in movies and comics. This may be the brain hole of the immortal cultivator that I can't understand. Although this illumination technique does not seem to be very reliable, it does not prevent Liu Ya from learning it. As the saying goes, more skills are better than less, and maybe it will play a key role one day. With this idea in mind, Liu Ya spent 2 days to master all 3 primary key training spells. During this period, he was not idle. He drew out the distribution of all the monsters around the family and made a simple map. It's about time. Early in the morning, Liu Ya, who had done his best to prepare, walked out of the family alone. Walking on the road, Liu Ya's heart beat fast, especially when he saw the main gate of the family. His heartbeat reached its peak. Inside the family, there is a protective formation to protect the family, but once he leaves this gate, he will face the wilderness he has never touched before. Liu Ya took a few deep breaths and resolutely opened the secondary door next to the family gate. The moment he stepped out of the gate, Liu Ya keenly felt that his body passed through a layer of invisible energy. This is the family's protective formation. Liu Ya stepped out of the family and looked back. The family gate was closed again under the effect of the formation. Liu Ya identified the direction and stepped forward. The last time he went out was at night, and time was urgent. So Liu Ya had no time to observe the surrounding environment. Looking at it now, the geographical location of the family is really remote. It is only 100 meters away from the family, and the surroundings quickly become desolate. Liu Ya walked cautiously along the trampled path. The weeds on both sides of the road were almost half a person tall, and in the distance, big trees rose from the ground. In this environment, humans have never been the protagonists. For example, now, Liu Ya's eyesight, which was strengthened by the body tempering, made it easy for him to find several human skeletons scattered in the weeds on the road. This made Liu Ya, who was originally full of confidence, immediately retreat in his heart. But then he thought that he couldn't stay in the family forever and grow up safely under the protection of the elders, so he gritted his teeth and walked forward. I wish all readers a happy little year, peace and happiness, and family happiness. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15 Hunting Instant Kill. As Liu Ya walked forward, the path under his feet gradually disappeared, replaced by increasingly dense grass and trees. Liu Ya carefully observed the surrounding environment. The palm of his right hand, which was pinching the seal, was already sweating, and the magic shield was ready to go. Li's sharp and piercing cry sounded not far away. Liu Ya's hair stood on end, and his body suddenly lowered. His right hand, which was pinching the seal, loosened, and the protective aura instantly covered his whole body. After waiting for a full 10 breaths, the surroundings were still calm. Liu Ya wiped the sweat from his forehead and raised his head carefully. Seeing that there was no change in the surrounding environment, he stood up and took a few deep breaths. Relax, don't be nervous, Liu Ya comforted himself, and then continued to move forward with a serious look. There is a beast the size of a civet cat staring at me in the distance. It may want to sneak attack me. Bang! The beast that was standing on a tree branch and stretching lazily in the distance had its neck cut off by the sword energy in the next second. There is a bird in the sky, flying over my head for a long time. Is it spying on me? Swish! A bird that was courting in the air was blown into several sections without any warning. There is also a poisonous snake under the tree roots. It definitely wants to sneak attack me when I am not prepared. Bang! Under the tree roots, a poisonous snake that was basking in the sun suddenly exploded its head. Bang! 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 The golden sword energy of Dacheng has a very high lethality within 50 steps. At this moment, it is too outrageous for Liu Ya to use it to deal with these ordinary birds and beasts. In this way, he killed all the way along the way. I don't know how many wronged souls died with their eyes open under Liu Ya's hands. When there was still more than half of his mana in his body, Liu Ya finally arrived at the destination area of this trip. This is a low bush, in which lives a medium-sized monster with a strong sense of territory, the stone-splitting jackal. According to the estimation of the uncle, the number of the entire stone-splitting jackal group is about 30, most of which are intermediate first-level monsters, and a few are advanced first-level monsters. Among them, the stone-splitting jackal king has even reached the peak of the first level. Liu Ya came here mainly to see if there are any lone stone-splitting jackals. Hunting one can provide him with food for several days. Stone-splitting jackwals usually act in groups, but if they don't go out hunting, they often like to act alone. This is Luya's opportunity. Luya jumped onto an ancient tree that was as thick as two people, squatted between the branches with dense leaves, and practiced a breath containment technique, waiting quietly. During this time, reptiles crawled past him, and birds landed near him, but he was unmoved by them all, just focusing his eyes on the bushes not far away. After waiting for an hour, when Luya began to doubt whether he had found the right place, a rustling friction sound came from the bushes, followed by a slight sniffing sound. Just by hearing this sound, Luya could already imagine that a rock-splitting jackwal was sniffing around in the bushes. Nose. Sniffing. Damn. The rock-splitting jackwal's sense of smell is very sensitive. It is very likely that it has discovered me. Thinking of this, Luya did not hesitate to gather strength with his legs, and shot straight towards the bushes that made the noise like a cannonball. When he was in the air, he saw him stretch out his hand and point, and the small level ground spike technique had already been used, followed by a series of golden sword energy covering the bushes. Ouch! The ground spike accurately hit the belly of the rock-splitting jackwal, which had no time to react, and pierced it through the middle. The whole body was pushed out of the bushes and exposed to Luya's eyes. It only had time to let out a painful wail before it was stunned by the surging golden sword energy. Die! Luya fell from the air, his right arm muscles knotted, and he used his hand as a knife to chop the head of the stone-splitting jackwal, which had no power to resist. The stone-splitting jackwal, which was still struggling, suddenly softened, and its two dog eyes almost popped out of its eye sockets. It was deader than dead. It was a long story, but in fact, it only took 3 or 4 breaths from Luya's attack to the end, which could almost be considered an instant kill. Luya picked up the jackwal corpse, which was slightly heavy in his hand, and weighed several dozen kilograms. He was happy in his heart, but he didn't dare to stay any longer. He quickly released several cleaning spells on the spot, and after eliminating his own breath, he grabbed the jackwal corpse and left quickly. This trip not only gave him a general understanding of the specific situation in the wild, but also accumulated experience in going out. In the end, he successfully hunted a first-level mid-stage demon beast. Luya's set goal has been successfully completed. If he doesn't withdraw now, when will he? Luya didn't want to stay in the wild for a minute. There were too many unexpected situations. He was just a novice who had just started practicing for less than 2 months. He had never killed a chicken before crossing. He could only say that he was forced to do what he did today. On the way back, Luya could no longer hold back. He turned on the protective aura and rushed all the way. His speed was getting faster and faster. Even with a prey weighing dozens of kilograms in his hands, he still took 5 or 6 meters at a time and walked briskly. At this speed, those who didn't know would think that there was a group of rock-splitting jackwals behind him seeking revenge. It took Luya nearly half an hour to come here, but it took him less than 10 minutes to go back. Luya didn't breathe a sigh of relief until the family gate appeared in his sight, but he still kept his pace and rushed home quickly. At the same time, the family gate opened, and a figure rushed towards Luya. Luya recognized the person at a glance. It was his uncle Lu Feng. Seeing Lu Feng coming out, Luya felt a sense of relief for no reason, and even his somewhat anxious steps slowed down. When the two were less than 100 meters apart, Luya called out uncle with a natural look on his face, and at the same time raised the prey in his right hand. Good boy, you are really quick. Lu Feng rushed to Luya, first observed him from head to toe, and after confirming that he was not injured, he smiled and joked. It's all because of uncle's good teaching, otherwise how could my nephew be so successful? Okay, let's go back to the family first, and we'll talk later. Lu Feng looked around, and then took Luya back home quickly. When the family door behind him closed again, Luya breathed a sigh of relief. Seeing him like this, Lu Feng asked unhappily, why, are you scared now? Luya smiled awkwardly and said a little embarrassedly, I was a little bit before, but I felt relieved when I saw my uncle. Overall, it was quite exciting. Exciting? Lu Feng glared and scolded sternly. Do you know how many people in Yanka die in the wild every day? Do you want to guess how many of them are young people like you who think that adventure in the wild is exciting and then lose their lives? Uncle, don't be angry. Nephew is not joking. Nephew has been careful all the way. Even after hunting this beast, I used the cleaning technique to eliminate the traces according to your experience. Luya handed the body of the stone-split jackwal forward and said flatteringly. Happy New Year to all readers. The temperature has dropped seriously in the past few days, so pay attention to keep warm. Chapter 16, A New Year's Letter to Book Friends. Good morning, dear readers. Gideon has launched an activity to give back to the majority of book friends. There will be an Easter egg chapter after the chapter with this title, and you can enter the lottery if you comment in it. It can be said to be a great victory for the freeloaders, so dear readers, remember to comment, and you can even give it a 6 with one hand. In addition, collect and invest in the tickets. Finally, I wish all readers a happy new year, smooth academic studies, harmonious life, step-by-step career advancement, and a happy relationship in the new year. Chapter 17, Tonic in Progress. Lu Feng raised his eyebrows. Why, you think you are so great after hunting a demon beast? Lu Ya waved his hands and denied. How is it possible? I remember the dog meat hot pot that uncle made last time, so I will treat you to dog meat this time. That's better. It's getting late. Let's go, Lu Feng called out, and Lu Ya hurriedly followed. Because Lu Ya hunted the prey himself, he was particularly satisfied with today's dinner. He finally had a full meal of demon beast meat that he rarely ate on weekdays. The two of them ate about 5 kilograms of dog meat in total. It's not that they couldn't eat more, but if they ate more, the spiritual energy in the demon beast meat could not be absorbed in time, which would cause waste. After they had eaten and drunk their fill, Lu Ya said, Uncle, leave me 30 kilograms of the remaining prey, and use the rest for the family's daily meals. By the way, give 5 kilograms of meat each to the clan leader, third uncle, and my father. Lu Feng shook his head and said, No, that won't work. This is what you hunted alone. Now is a great time for you to practice, and it's time to replenish your spiritual energy. You don't have to worry about family affairs, just take care of yourself, uncle. Lu Ya waited for Lu Feng to finish speaking before continuing. The family raised me and never asked for anything in return. But as a member of the family, since I have the ability to share the burden for the family, I naturally cannot stand idly by. Besides, it's just monster meat, too much for me to eat, so I'll go hunting when I want to eat. Are you still planning to go out? When Lu Feng heard that Lu Ya was still planning to go out, his eyes widened and he was about to explode with anger. I won't go out, uncle. I'm going back to practice first. Remember to divide the prey. Seeing that the situation was not good, Lu Ya immediately ran out of the yard, and said as he ran. Seeing Lu Ya running away, Lu Feng helplessly cursed Stinky Boy, and then said to the cook beside him, From now on, prepare 2 kilograms of monster meat for Yair for each meal, and then add some meals for the family monks tomorrow, as well as the clan leader and others, and send them according to Lu Ya's requirements. Lu Ya didn't know what Lu Feng did. He ran back to the house and immediately sat cross-legged in meditation. As the skills were running, Lu Ya clearly felt that the spiritual energy of heaven and earth that he could only absorb from the air at ordinary times seemed to have an extra source at this moment. The source was in his abdomen, to be precise, the monster meat he ate. At this moment, there were streams of heat flowing out of his abdomen continuously, and with the operation of the skills, it was transformed into strands of spiritual energy that merged into his meridians and turned into his own magic power. After a full hour, Lu Ya completely digested the spiritual energy in the beast meat. He opened his eyes and quickly opened the skill panel. He saw that his realm had changed from the original key training level 5, 8/100 to key training level 5, 9/100. He suddenly gained a little more experience. Is this monster meat so effective? Lu Ya carefully calculated that the last time he gained experience was 3 days ago. According to his current experience gain of 1 point every 5 days, this meal of beast meat saved him 2 days of hard work. It shouldn't have such a big effect. One low-grade spirit stone can only shorten the progress by 1 day. It doesn't make sense that this beast meat is stronger than the spirit stone. Lu Ya thought for a moment and suddenly realized, usually, I use spirit stones to assist in cultivation. One low-grade spirit stone takes a whole day. Now I absorb the spiritual energy in the beast meat all at once. It is reasonable that there is a difference in effect. After figuring it out, Lu Ya got up from the bed, opened the door and walked into the yard. Although the spiritual energy in the beast meat was absorbed, the nutrients in the meat itself were still there, which could not be wasted. Thinking of this, Lu Ya started to practice boxing in the courtyard. As Lu Ya continued to practice, his mastery of the Piffin boxing became more and more thorough. Although Piffin boxing is called boxing, it can actually be seen as a sword technique that is open and unstoppable, which is why this boxing technique is named Piffin. The pursuit is the spirit of splitting a 1,000-meter mountain in two with one knife. After practicing boxing again, Lu Ya gradually stopped. He held his right hand in the air, as if holding an invisible knife, and waved it casually in the air. I didn't know what weapon was suitable for me before, but now it seems that a knife is a good choice. Compared with the popular sword-shaped magic tools in the cultivation world, the price of a knife is 10 to 20% cheaper, and it can also save a lot of money. In his previous life, Lu Ya also bought a Tang horizontal knife. Whenever someone asked about it, he would call it a personal hobby. In fact, he was dazzled by the Keking draws the sword trick of the female anchor who was live streaming the goods, so he spent nearly 2,000 yuan to buy the craft Tang horizontal sword. However, even if it is a slightly cheaper sword-type magic weapon, the price is not low. Even if it is a first-level low-level magic weapon, the market price is about 15 low-grade spirit stones, which is not something Lu Ya can afford now. I don't know if this world has the concept of advanced consumption. It would be best to have a zero down payment, and then 24 installments without interest, Lu Ya thought secretly, and then smiled helplessly. Damn it, I was short of money in my previous life. I worked from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day and was as tired as a dead dog, and I didn't make much money. I didn't expect that after traveling through time, the biggest difficulty I faced was still lack of money. Lu Ya went crazy for a few seconds, and then lowered his head dejectedly. Let's go find my fourth uncle and ask him to make me an ordinary long sword first. As for the magic weapon, we can talk about it after we make money. The fourth uncle mentioned by Lu Ya is Lu Xiao, who led the team to support the clan leader and others. He is at the peak of the 6th level of key training and has learned to refine weapons for a period of time. Although he can't refine magic weapons, he has no problem making some ordinary knives, shovels, etc. It can be regarded as a reflection of the diversity of talents in the family. After making up his mind, Lu Ya went out. On the way to find Lu Xiao, Lu Ya did not forget to practice, and the golden sword energy came one after another, trying hard to accumulate experience. After accumulating more than 40 points of experience, Lu Ya also found his fourth uncle Lu Xiao in the family iron room. Lu Xiao was standing by an iron furnace at this moment, waving an iron hammer and forging something. After seeing Lu Ya, he smiled on his red face, and asked in a loud voice, "Nephew Lu Ya, how come you have time to come to my uncle's place? I remember that you were the most afraid to come to my place before. You were very careful every time you came, for fear that sparks would splash on you. Is there such a thing?" Lu Ya's face froze, and then he said with a flattering smile, "Uncle, let's not talk about those old things. This time, nephew came because there was something that stumped me, and after thinking about it, I think only you can solve it." Oh, after hearing what Lu Ya said, Lu Xiao showed an obviously interested look, and said, "Uncle is a little curious, tell me, what is it? Readers who think it's good, please give some recommendations." Collect. Invest. Chapter 18 The Patriarch Goes Out. So Lu Ya explained his intention in detail, and finally sighed and said, "Uncle, it's not easy to practice." Seeing Lu Ya's miserable and melancholy look, Lu Xiao laughed and comforted him, "Don't worry, nephew, uncle will make you a handy knife." "Thank you, uncle." Lu Ya changed his miserable look and happily described his requirements and habits to Lu Xiao in detail. Lu Xiao wrote down Lu Ya's requirements one by one, nodded and said, "Okay, I know, come and get it at this time tomorrow, uncle will make you satisfied." "Okay, uncle, you've worked hard." Seeing that his goal was achieved, Lu Ya immediately walked home with brisk steps. Lu Xiao was left with a confused face, watching him leave in confusion. Am I being tricked by this kid? A day passed in the blink of an eye, and Lu Ya walked out of the house again and rushed to Lu Xiao's iron room. Unlike yesterday, today Lu Ya walked on the road, and everyone he met had a smile on his face. "Good afternoon, second brother." Lu Jing, who had 2 ponytails, greeted Lu Ya in a coquettish manner. Lu Ya nodded and asked casually, "Good afternoon, fifth sister, why are you so happy today?" Lu Jing said with sparkling eyes, "It's because the dog meat hunted by second brother is so delicious. Uncle gave us an extra meal at noon today. It smells so good, so that's it." Lu Ya looked at the satisfied smile of fifth sister Lu Jing, and his mood became happy. "Then second brother, hunt more next time and treat fifth sister to barbecue," Lu Jing asked in confusion. "Barbecue? What is barbecue? Is it delicious?" Poor kid, she had never even eaten barbecue. Lu Ya nodded seriously and said, "It's delicious." "Okay, then fifth sister, wait for second brother to treat me to barbecue." Lu Jing said excitedly, and then she laughed foolishly to herself. Entering the iron room, Lu Ya saw the long knife shining with cold light on the iron felt at a glance. "Oh, you are very punctual." Lu Xiao threw the sweat towel in his hand into the bucket beside him and said jokingly. "Fourth uncle speaks, nephew must obey." Lu Xiao threw the long knife over and said, "Stop talking nonsense, see if it is handy." The long knife is slightly heavy in the hand, and the overall color is gray and black. The whole knife is about 1.3 meters long, the blade is 1 meter long, the widest part of the blade is 5 fingers long, the back of the blade is thick and the blade is bright. The handle is 30 centimeters long and can be held with both hands. Lu Xiao is even more considerate to wrap the handle with a circle of thin rope, which is not easy to slip out of the hand and is more convenient for chopping. The overall look of this knife is heavier, which fully reflects the power and cruelty of cold weapons. Lu Yer waved it twice casually, and the blade made a slight hissing sound when it passed through the air, which was enough to show how sharp it was. Lu Xiao waited for a long time, and finally couldn't help asking, "How is it? Is it good enough?" Lu Yer reluctantly put down the knife, sighed with satisfaction, and said, "Thank you, fourth uncle, this knife is very suitable for my nephew." When he got the knife, Lu Yan had even thought about how to use this knife to end the life of the monster next time he hunted. Hearing Lu Yan's words, Lu Xiao's face showed a satisfied smile. "Okay, take it back if you want to play. This is the scabbard I made for you. Be careful not to hurt people." Lu Xiao threw another black wooden scabbard over and began to wave his hand to drive people away. Lu Yer put the long knife back into the sheath and walked out happily. Back home, Lu Yer couldn't wait to draw out the long knife and perform it with the long knife according to the routine of the splitting peak fist. The sharp knife light kept lighting up in the yard, and the hissing sound of breaking the wind was endless. At this moment, Lu Ya seemed to have transformed into a peerless swordsman, dancing with the knife alone in the yard, gradually forgetting himself. After an unknown amount of time, Lu Ya's eyes flashed with a brilliant light, and his whole body surged with strength. He took a step across a distance of nearly 10 meters, and slashed with his long sword. A cold blade light wrapped in Lu Ya's powerful strength flashed and disappeared. Plop! The bent arm of the sparring bronzeman was broken at the root, and fell heavily on the stone slab in the yard. Lu Ya put the sword back into the sheath and carefully looked at the cut on the bronzeman's broken arm. It was as smooth as a mirror. In this way, my combat power in the key training period can be considered comprehensive. I have golden sword energy for long range, ground spikes for medium range, and boxing and swords for close combat. Lu Ya looked at the long sword in his hand, with a touch of nostalgia, and smiled and said, "Since you are gray and black all over, and so sharp, I think it should be called Black Cut." After naming the long sword, Lu Ya habitually opened the skill panel. Name, Lu Yan. Lifespan, 1788 years old. Realm, 5th level of key training. 9/100. Skills, minor successive Chong Chun Gong. 175, 2000. Skills, minor successive fire controlling technique. 691, 2000. Minor successive cleansing technique. 365, 2000. Great successive golden sword key. 2745/5000. Proficiency in body protection aura. 175 out of 200. Proficiency in ground spikes. 196/200. Minor successive peak splitting fist. 833, 2000. Introduction to breath containing technique. 75 out of 100. Introduction to exorcism technique. 67 out of 100. Introduction to illumination technique. 80 out of 100. Introduction to peak splitting sword technique. 7/100. Magical powers, none. Lu Ya was a little surprised, because at the bottom of the panel, in addition to the 3 spells he learned a few days ago, there was another skill, peak splitting sword technique. Peak splitting sword technique? It seems to be due to the fist technique. Lu Ya was not surprised. This sword technique was completely extended from the peak splitting fist technique, and he had indeed mastered it. It was not surprising that it appeared in the skill panel. Keep practicing. When I have mastered all the skills to the peak one day, it will be the time for me, Lu, to show my talent. In the evening, after dinner, all the cultivators of the Lu family who were in the middle stage of key training and above gathered in the meeting hall. The clan leader Lu Dingbo stood in front of the main seat with his hands behind his back. He looked around and focused on Lu Ya for a few breaths before he spoke. What I am going to say next is related to the rise and fall of my Lu family. You are all part of my Lu family, so I will not keep you in suspense, but you must not let any news leak out. According to the judgment of the spiritual plant elder Lu Yuan, the new spiritual field will be officially formed in about 2 months. The Zhou family has not given up yet. So I decided to go to the King Muwang family and personally invite the in-laws to take action. At this point, Lu Dingbo's eyes were extremely calm. When the spiritual field matures, it will be the time for the Zhou family to be destroyed. As soon as these words came out, the hall suddenly rang with detailed discussions, some surprised, some excited, some worried, and some panicked. Lu Ye's eyes moved slightly. He had thought that the clan leader did not intend to go to the King Muwang family in person, or had other plans. Now it seems that it is not that the clan leader does not want to leave, but that he wants to arrange all the affairs of the family before leaving to avoid any uncontrollable risks. After a few breaths, the discussion in the hall gradually stopped. After seeing that everyone had digested the news, Lu Dingbo continued, I will also go to Wuhou market to purchase some supplies this time. If you need any urgently needed supplies, please report to me. Readers who think this is good, please give some recommendations. Collect. Invest. Chapter 19 Adaptation. Lu Ye was immediately moved by the clan leader's proposal. He needed a lot of things, such as robes, magic tools, and elixirs for cultivation. But he thought of his pitiful savings and had to give up those unrealistic ideas. When I have money, I will definitely come back. Lu Ye stood in the crowd and swore fiercely in his heart. Lu Dingbo continued, this time, I will definitely come back in 3 to 5 days at the shortest, and 7 to 8 days at the longest. During this period, everyone should not relax and everything should be carried out as usual. When it was Yinchi, Lu Dingbo walked out of the family gate under the gaze of all the clan members, headed south, and quickly disappeared into the darkness. At this time, it was not far from dawn, and the demons and monsters that hid during the day and came out at night had basically returned to their nests. While hiding their whereabouts, the clan leader's cultivation of the 10th level of key training was also much safer. Beside Lu Yang said with some worry, second brother, the clan leader should have a smooth journey this time. Lu Yan nodded and said, brother, King Muwang clan is only 100 miles away from my Lu clan. Besides, with the clan leader's strength, there will be no problem even if he travels at night. After hearing Lu Ya's words, Lu Yang's worry dissipated a little, and he nodded in agreement. Yes, the clan leader is a person who wants to build a foundation. How can a mere night trip stop my clan leader Lu? I just hope that everything goes well on this trip and that Grandpa can return home safely. Don't worry, brother, with 2 kilograms of monster meat for each meal and 1 low-grade spirit stone a day, Lu Ya's cultivation progress has finally entered the fast lane. The realm experience increases a little bit every 3 days, and the experience of various spells is steadily increasing. The body is getting stronger and stronger, and the strength is also growing. Time flies, and 5 days of Lu Ya's fulfilling and dull days have passed in the blink of an eye. Early in the morning of this day, Lu Ya looked at the bland breakfast and felt a little uncomfortable. In the past 5 days, he had monster meat for every meal, so it was natural that he could not accept eating only spiritual rice. It is easy to go from frugality to luxury, but it is difficult to go from luxury to frugality. Lu Ya sighed, and then he ate all the food in a few mouthfuls, hung the black cutter on his waist, and strode out. Compared with the uneasiness of the first time he went out of the family, Lu Ya, who went out for the second time, had a kind of calmness of an experienced person. It's just like that, the first time will always be a little nervous, but you will definitely get used to it a lot later. At least you won't be so nervous that your legs will be weak. Yes, Lu Ya is talking about learning to drive. Along the way, Lu Ya used the black cutter to clear the way, and from time to time shot some snakes, insects, rats and ants that were trying to sneak attack him, and soon came to the bushes where the stone-cracked jackals were again. Here, Lu Ya was very alert and carefully explored forward. It took more than 10 minutes for Lu Ya to find an ancient tree in a suitable position and jump on it. This time he didn't have to wait too long before he heard footsteps rustling in the bushes below. Lu Ya held his breath and listened carefully for a moment. His expression somewhat solemn. 2 rock-splitting jackals. If it was just one, Lu Ya could guarantee an instant kill, but now there was one more. If Lu Ya acted rashly, even if he could kill both rock-splitting jackals in a short time, he would not be able to stop the rock-splitting jackals from calling for their companions. He wanted to retreat, but if he moved at this time, the chance of exposing his whereabouts would increase infinitely, and he would still be chased by the rock-splitting jackals. After weighing the pros and cons, Lu Ya continued to squat on the tree branch motionlessly, looking through the gaps in the leaves at the direction of the two rock-splitting jackwalls. But after a few minutes, Lu Ya's expression became a little weird. At this time, the bushes below were shaking left and right regularly, and the heavy panting accompanied by waves of hoarse wailing drifted into Lu Ya's ears, who was concentrating. In such a serious occasion, you are showing me the animal world? I can't bear it. After waiting for a long time, the shaking frequency of the bushes still did not change at all, and Lu Ya's eyes were a little sore. After a while, Lu Ya's eyes gradually became more dangerous when he looked at the bushes below. As if sensing something, the shaking frequency of the bushes suddenly increased, and the panting and wailing became louder and faster. Lu Ya silently drew out the black cleaver, and the cold blade reflected his calm eyes. After more than 10 breaths, the shaking of the bushes suddenly stopped, and at the same time, there was an extremely happy wolf howl. Lu Ya's eyes flashed, and the earth spike technique that had been ready for a long time was instantly launched. At the same time, his body jumped out and kicked hard on the ancient tree under his feet that was as thick as a person. The trunk broke with a sound, and Lu Ya flew down like an arrow from a bow. The earth spike technique was discovered the moment it was launched, but due to the posture problem at the moment, the male stone-splitting jackwall that had just broken through to the first level advanced level and the female stone-splitting jackwall under it were unable to complete the action of dodging in the first time. They could only watch the spikes pierce from under them, and their happy wolf howls suddenly turned into screams of shock and anger. The next moment, a jet-black knife light was like thunder, carrying Lu Ya's full strength to chop down. At the critical moment, the male stone-splitting jackwall, which was comparable to the late stage of key training, exerted force on its strong hind legs, raised its thick neck, and the jet-black knife light fell along its nose, completely exposing the female stone-splitting jackwall under it to the knife light. The knife light fell, and Black Cut cooperated with Lu Ya's full-strength knife. The fur of the female stone-splitting jackwall, which was only a first-level intermediate, did not play the slightest role. In an instant, the body and head were separated, and the smelly blood splattered, dyeing a large area of shrubs in front of him red. The sneak attack was not fully successful, and Lu Ya's expression did not fluctuate at all. While the long knife was reversed, the golden sword energy in his empty left hand burst out. At such a close distance, let alone a first-level high-level monster, even a first-level peak monster could not avoid it. The golden sword energy kept hitting the male stone-splitting jackwall's eyes, nose, throat and other vulnerable parts, forcing it to turn its head to avoid it. Taking advantage of the moment when it turned its head, Lu Ya's long knife swept across its crotch without hesitation. The stone-splitting jackwall only felt a chill in its crotch, followed by the intense pain of piercing its bone marrow, which made it pause. Die, Lu Ya shouted in a low voice, with a strange shock in his voice, which resounded in the ears of the stone-splitting jackwall. Exorcism, which focuses on the soul, is most effective against evil spirits, but it does not mean that it can only be used to expel evil spirits. At this moment, under the exorcism that shocked the soul, the male stone-splitting jackwall's body and demonic power were all stagnant, and it was completely defenseless. How could Lu Ya let go of such an opportunity? He held a knife in both arms, his muscles knotted, and slashed from right to left. The huge head rose into the air, and blood splashed 3 feet high like a fountain. Go! Lu Ya sheathed his knife, and instantly cast 2 cleansing spells. He grabbed a headless jackwall with one hand and turned to run away. 2 handfuls of flames danced at the broken neck, quickly stopping the bleeding. In the bushes in the distance, there was already a lot of noise. Readers who think this is good, please give some recommendations. Collect. Invest. Chapter 20 Introduction to Zuanyang Yikiju. Carrying a prey weighing several dozen kilograms in one hand, Lu Ya still walked briskly without slowing down at all. At this moment, he was extremely grateful to his third grandfather for giving him the peak-splitting fist, which made him strong and healthy. If it was before he practiced boxing and strengthened his body, even if Lu Ya killed the 2 stone-splitting jackwalls, he would have to give up the spoils in the face of the pursuit of the stone-splitting jackwalls behind him. When a large number of stone-splitting jackwalls arrived at the place where the battle took place, Lu Ya had already disappeared without a trace. The stone-splitting jackwalls, which had searched everywhere in vain, could only let out angry wolf howls, but they were helpless. Lu Ya looked back at the direction where the wolf howls came from in the distance, smiled triumphantly, and continued to rush back. This hunt is completed. I don't have to go out for at least 10 days. If I save some, it may be enough for half a month, Lu Ya thought as he hurried on his way. Going out hunting seems easy, but every time I go out, I am gambling. I am gambling that I will not encounter an invincible existence, Lu Ya sighed and said to himself, if I can farm honestly in the family, who would be willing to go out and fight for my life? Unfortunately, the current conditions do not allow Lu Ya to grow quickly. The Lu family can no longer provide him with extra resources. Even if the new spiritual field is successfully opened, it will take until next year to have a surplus harvest. In a year, in this dangerous world, Lu Ya really can't guarantee whether he can live to that time. So what he can do now is to try every means to speed up his cultivation speed and work hard to improve his own strength. Thinking of this, the Lu family is already in sight. A figure stood at the gate, as if looking forward to the return of the wanderer. It was his uncle Lu Feng. After seeing his uncle, Lu Ya exhaled a breath of turbid air and soon arrived at the gate of the family. Seeing that Lu Ya returned safely, Lu Feng didn't say much. He turned and walked into the gate. Lu Ya followed closely and returned to the family. After handing the corpse of the monster to his uncle, Lu Ya returned to his own courtyard. After leaving home in the morning, it was almost noon when he returned home. Lu Ya only had time to meditate for a few weeks before Lu Yu brought him lunch. Today's lunch was particularly rich, with spiritual rice, pork, and dog meat, all of which were foods rich in spiritual energy. Lu Yu was already hungry after running around all morning, and he didn't delay and ate quickly. Lu Ya's stomach was like a bottomless pit. The food that was enough for 3 people went into his stomach without any fluctuations. After eating and drinking, Lu Ya looked up at the sun in the sky and said with satisfaction, "The sun is so bright today." After resting for a few minutes, Lu Ya returned to the house, took out a spiritual stone, jumped onto the roof, and began to practice Zuanyang Yikiju. It has been more than a month since Lu Ya started practicing Zuanyang Yikiju, and there are only a few days left before the deadline of 1.5 months. After entering into meditation, Lu Ya somehow felt a hot breath emanating from his body from the inside out. He didn't know whether it was too hot today or he ate too much at noon. In short, after he took a deep breath of the midday heat, his whole body seemed to be ignited, as if he would soon turn into a furnace and burn fiercely. This unprecedented situation did not panic Lu Ya, but made him extremely excited. The body is like the heart of the furnace and the fire is the firewood. This is what third grandpa said about the body being like the heart of the furnace and the firewood. As long as I use the true fire of the sun to ignite the heart fire and burn it all over the body, this Zuanyang Yikiju will be considered as the entry. Although Lu Ya's mind was full of thoughts, his appearance still maintained a posture of meditation. He looked directly at the sun above his head, constantly visualizing in his mind, and then took a deep breath of the scorching air. When the air entered his lungs, his eyes closed at the same time. When the air containing a trace of the true fire of the sun entered his body, Lu Ya did his best to guide it into the heart area. The steps that he had no idea about before were now clearly visible in front of Lu Ya. That's it, Lu Ya controlled the ray of the sun's true fire and slowly entered his heart, like a spark falling into a room covered with hay. Boom, in Lu Ya's perception, a raging fire suddenly ignited deep in his heart, and in the blink of an eye, the entire heart was ignited. This fire does not fall on the flesh, but only exists on the spiritual level. As the heart fire ignited, strands of hot blood were transported to various parts of Lu Ya's body, circulating back and forth, slowly merging into his flesh and blood, and spiritual energy. His flesh and blood were being tempered, his magic power was being purified, and everything was slowly changing under the sun. After 10 full cycles, Lu Ya's eyes suddenly opened, and a touch of golden red flashed in his pupils. Lu Ya exhaled a breath of hot air and couldn't wait to open the skill panel. At the bottom of the skill list, a new spell suddenly appeared, Zuanyang Yikiju Introduction. 10/100. Finally I've gotten started, Lu Ya clenched his fists. He could feel that in just a short while, his strength had increased by at least 0.5%, and his magic power had also become a little more refined. No wonder third grandpa's fighting power is so strong. After learning the Zuanyang Yikiju, it's hard not to be strong. But why do I feel a little hungry? Did I just eat? Lu Ya touched his stomach, a little confused. Forget it, there's still a lot of monster meat anyway, so I'll go eat some more. Lu Ya smiled and quickly went out to the family kitchen to pull off a whole hind leg of a stone-cracked jackal. Then he called on the brothers and sisters of the young generation of the family to set up a barbecue grill in the yard. When everything was ready, Lu Ya stretched out his hand and a ball of flame completely wrapped the whole hind leg like water, slowly roasting it. After a while, the rich aroma of meat wafted away, causing everyone to swallow their saliva. Second brother, is this barbecue? Fifth sister Lu Jing stared at the sizzling barbecue with her big watery eyes. After waiting for a while, with Lu Ya's shout of start, the 8 half-grown boys and girls cheered and started to eat. Now that the unyielding has been introduced, the next step is smooth sailing. With the support of a large amount of monster meat, in just 5 days, Lu Ya has mastered the unyielding to the point of proficiency. The proficient level of unyielding has brought Lu Ya an increase of more than 15% of strength and nearly 20% of mana, which makes him stronger and his spells more powerful. At the same time, Lu Ya's mana now has a hint of the burning breath of the sun's true fire. If he is hit by the mana containing the sun's true fire, the damage he suffers will be greatly enhanced. For the cold and dark evil spirits, the sun's true fire represents extreme danger. Lu Ya, who has the aura of the true fire of the sun, will also become the object of disgust for the evil spirits. However, there are advantages and disadvantages. Lu Ya is now practicing boxing in unyielding, which consumes a lot of energy. In just 5 days, Lu Ya killed almost half of the stone-splitting jackals, which were the first-level advanced stone-splitting jackals with more abundant energy. Readers who think it is good, please recommend it. Collect it. Invest. Chapter 21 Search. Are you serious? In the Zhou family, Zhou Hanming had an uncertain expression, as if he was afraid to accept the news he had just heard. Clan leader, this is absolutely true. I saw with my own eyes this morning that the Lu clan member was escaping with 2 stone-splitting jackal corpses, and there was a whole pack of stone-splitting jackals in the distance behind him. Beside Zhou Hanming, Elder Zhou Qi, who was at the 8th level of Qi training, nodded solemnly, and then said, Clan leader, you also know that the stone-splitting jackals are the most vengeful. It's only because that kid ran too fast, otherwise the stone-splitting jackals would definitely not let him go. However, we can take advantage of this and lead the entire pack of stone-splitting jackals to the Lu family. When the time comes, while the snipe and the clam fight, my Zhou family will benefit. Zhou Hanming was somewhat tempted, but as the head of the clan, he quickly shook his head and said, the Lu family is protected by the formation left by their ancestors. A mere pack of stone-splitting jackals cannot cause too many casualties to the Lu family. Besides, it is not something that ordinary people can do to track the stone-splitting jackal pack. At least it takes a cultivation base like you and me to do it, and there may even be the danger of death, Zhou Qi said in a shocking voice. Patriarch, in the past, the Lu family posed no threat to our Zhou family. But now, there are 2 more acres of spiritual fields next to the Lu family's spiritual fields, and there is another genius who kills people of the same level like slaughtering dogs. If we let the Lu family grow, our Zhou family will surely perish within 3 years. This statement dealt a heavy blow to Zhou Hanming, making him look fierce and determined. You are right. The Lu family is indeed on the rise. How can we allow others to sleep beside our bed? If we want to take action, we must go all out. There is still one last blood spirit demon stone in the family. This thing is the favorite of the 2nd-level demon beast Fan Feng Bao. Zhou Qi, go and gather the family members quickly. After a while, everyone in the Zhou family's meeting hall gathered. After Zhou Qi explained the plan in detail, everyone in the hall was excited. Looking at the excited clansmen below, Zhou Hanming said in a deep voice, so, who will lead out the stone-splitting jackals, and who will be responsible for attracting the Brahma wind leopards? In an instant, the noisy hall became so noisy that you could hear a pin drop. Everyone subconsciously shut their mouths. This kind of thing could cost their lives if they were not careful, so they had no choice but to be cautious. Clan leader, I will lead out the stone-splitting jackals. Suddenly, Zhou Qi took a step forward, his voice firm. You are sure about this? A life-threatening situation. Zhou Hanming was a little moved. Yes, I will go for the sake of the family, but I still have a son, who will be left alone in the future. I hope that the clan leader will give my son a letter of recommendation to the blood refining sect, so that he can go to the blood refining sect to participate in the sect trial. As soon as Zhou Qi finished speaking, the faces of several people of the older generation suddenly became ugly, and they all looked at Zhou Qi with displeasure. Zhou Hanming did not expect Zhou Qi to make such a request. Zulian sect is a first-class sect in Yanka domain. The sect's ancestor, Zhu Zhenren, is a first-class Jinden's. The elders and disciples in the sect are powerful. He originally intended to give this letter of recommendation to his grandson to win a future for him. But at this moment, if he rejected Joki's request, then this action would inevitably fail in the womb, which would also be detrimental to the unity of the family. After a few breaths of silence, Zhou Hanming uttered a word from his teeth. Yes, Patriarch, I will go to Fanfang Bao, uncle, this is not possible. This dangerous thing should be done by my nephew. Just when Zhou was planning to deal with Lu Dingbo, the patriarch of the Lu family, finally returned safely. In the meeting hall, Lu Yan, like the other clan members, looked at the dusty patriarch with expectation. Ahem, Lu Dingbo covered his chest and coughed twice before continuing, everyone, I have made a heavenly oath with the Wang family when I went to the King Mu Wang family. At that time, the Wang family will definitely go all out to help the Lu family. In return, the Wang family will take 50% of the spoils obtained by the Zhou family. This is what we should do. Lu Ye and others were not surprised at all. Strictly speaking, the Wang family was still conscientious. If it were an ordinary cooperating family, after not involving the distribution rights of fixed assets such as spiritual fields, they would definitely take the majority of the distribution of spoils. This shows that the King Mu Wang family still values the Lu family as a family of in-laws. In addition, this time when I passed by Wuhu Market, I also spent the Lu family's savings to purchase a batch of supplies, including a number of various cultivation elixirs, 2 medium-grade magic tools, and 2 low-grade magic tools. You can come to me later to pick them up. After Lu Dingbo finished speaking, he turned to look at Lu Feng and asked, Lu Feng, while I was away this time, did anything big happen in the clan? Lu Feng walked out of the crowd and bowed in reply, Patriarch, your absence this time has not caused any fluctuations in my Lu family, but there is good news. Lu Yu has successfully learned the Zuanyang Yikiju. What? Lu Dingbo was slightly stunned, and then he said loudly with a look of surprise, Lu Ya, let the clan leader see it quickly. Lu Ya did not expect Lu Dingbo's reaction to be so great, so he had to walk out of the crowd and stand in front of Lu Dingbo. He saw that he slightly operated his magic power, and a burning breath emanated from his body. It is really the Zuanyang Yikiju. Lu Dingbo looked at Lu Yang, and could no longer hold back his inner joy and laughed out loud. Ancestors, the rise of our Lu family is in sight. Lu Dingbo looked at Lu Yang, the most talented member of the family in the past 20 years, with a look of satisfaction. With a wave of his hand, 3 Celadon jade bottles flew into Lu Ya's arms. Yatter, these are the elixirs commonly used for Qi training, namely Qi rejuvenation pill, Qi gathering pill and Qi nourishing pill. I believe you all know their effects. In the future, practice well and strive to enter the late stage of Qi training as soon as possible. Lu Ya hurriedly took the elixir, nodded and replied solemnly, Lu Ya will definitely practice hard and practice for the rise of the family. What a great way to practice for the rise of the family. The descendants of my Lu family should have such a goal. Lu Dingbo laughed, and his eyes looked at Lu Ya with more satisfaction. He then thought about it, raised his hand and gave Lu Ya a talisman with a glowing aura. Lu Ya took the talisman, and a look of surprise flashed across his face. Golden Body Protection Talisman. Although Lu Ya had not learned the craft of making talismans, he could still recognize the Golden Body Protection Talisman, which was known as the strongest defensive talisman in the Qi training period. It was rumored that this Golden Body Protection Talisman could block the full-strength attack of a foundation-building cultivator without breaking it, and it could be called the second life of a Qi training cultivator. This talisman alone was worth 2 medium-grade spirit stones, enough to buy a second-hand first-grade medium-grade magic weapon. With the family background of the Lu family, purchasing this talisman was already the limit. This was also the treatment that only the talented cultivators in the Lu family who were expected to build a foundation could enjoy. Seeing this talisman, everyone in the Lu family showed envy in their eyes, but there was no jealousy or other emotions in it. As soon as this talisman came out, Lu Ya's identity was automatically promoted to the future foundation building seed of the Lu family, and his status was equal to that of the elders, only below the clan leader. When encountering irresistible danger, Lu Ya will also be the object of desperate protection by all Lu clan members. Readers who think it is not bad, please give some recommendations. Collect it, invest. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22, Dark and Windy Moon, Monster Appears. Late at night, Luya was lying on the bed, playing with a golden body talisman he had just obtained. 2 middle-grade spirit stones, this is 200 low-grade spirit stones, and in the end, I only got a disposable talisman. Luya's heart was broken. If he knew that the clan leader would give him an item worth 2 middle-grade spirit stones, he would definitely stop this wasteful behavior. With these 200 low-grade spirit stones, wouldn't it be better to exchange them for elixirs to speed up his cultivation? At the very least, it would be fine to exchange them for a handy middle-grade magic weapon. Luya even wanted to find someone to exchange the talisman for spirit stones or magic weapons. But he gave up this plan after all, carefully put the talisman close to his body, patted it again, and made sure there was no problem before he fell asleep peacefully. After sleeping for an unknown period of time, Luya was awakened by the chaotic howling of wolves. Luya got up quickly reflexively, picked up the black knife, and rushed out of the room. It was pitch black outside the house, with only a few fluorite lamps emitting a faint light. In the faint light, tribesmen kept rushing out of the room with solemn expressions. It's the stone-splitting Jackal pack. All monks go to the main gate of the family and follow me to resist the attack of the monsters. Ordinary people all go to the meeting hall and hide in the cellar. A roar sounded from the center of the family. Everyone seemed to have found a backbone. The chaotic crowd quickly split into 2 parts. One part quickly rushed to the main gate, and the other part rushed to the meeting hall. Stone-splitting Jackal pack. Luya's face changed drastically after hearing the roar, and a haze rose. Is it because I hunted the stone-splitting jackals that the stone-splitting jackals retaliated? Luya was in a trance for a moment, and then he hurried to the main gate of the family with a firm look in his eyes. If it was really me who caused the trouble, I would never let any stone-splitting jackal hurt my people. When Luya arrived, the late key training cultivators in the family had basically arrived, and the rest were also coming one after another. Through the family formation, Luya's eyes with the illumination technique clearly saw the situation on the opposite side. He saw a group of majestic stone-splitting jackals gathering outside the formation, constantly attacking the formation. Behind them, several particularly strong stone-splitting jackals were staring at the people in the formation. The leading stone-splitting jackal had a bloody mouth, and the aura of a first-level peak monster was revealed. There was no doubt that it was the king of the entire group of stone-splitting jackals. Luya counted them and found that there were 35 stone-splitting jackals, all of which were first-level intermediate monsters and above. This is a big trouble, Luya muttered to himself. After a few breaths, all 29 cultivators of the family had arrived. The one with the highest cultivation level had perfected the 10th level of key training, and the one with the lowest cultivation level was barely at the 2nd level of key training. The continuous attacks of the stone-splitting jackals caused the family formation to fluctuate. If this continued, the family formation would certainly be violently broken. Lu Dingbo made a prompt decision and said, I will close the family protection formation later. Everyone, be prepared and make sure to stop all the stone-splitting jackals. Lu Dinghe, Lu Feng, Lu Yuan, Lu Tong, follow me to stop the high-level monsters on the opposite side. After 3 breaths, the formation will be closed. Everyone offered up their body protection auras. Those who had magic weapons took out their magic weapons, and those who didn't have magic weapons began to pinch their fingers and prepare to release magic. Luya also held up his body protection aura, unsheathed his black cut, and stroked a golden body protection amulet under his chest with his left hand, and began to prepare the ground spike. After 3 breaths, the family protection formation was instantly closed, and more than 20 spells rushed towards the stone-splitting jackals in the front with magic weapons. Caught off guard, the 4 stone-splitting jackals in front were killed on the spot, and the others were also slightly injured. Kill! Lu Dingbo roared and rushed out first. Lu Dinghe, whose body was burning with light red magic power, followed closely behind him, followed by family members one by one. Luya, relying on his physical advantage, rushed to the side of Lu Yuan and others. A mere beast dares to come to my Lu family to make trouble. Lu Dinghe's eyes were wide open, and his voice was like thunder, which made people's ears buzz. He punched straight out, and a burst of scorching fire snake rushed out, burning a first-level intermediate stone-breaking jackal into a charred corpse in the blink of an eye. As Luya and his men charged, powerful golden sword energy was shot at the stone-breaking jackals rushing from the opposite side. Boom boom boom, the stone-breaking jackwalls in front of the team were killed or injured. The dead stone-breaking jackwalls fell forward due to inertia, raising a cloud of dust and hindering the charge of their companions behind. After this period of training, Lu Ya's golden sword energy has become more powerful. At this moment, it is quite powerful. This scene not only stunned the group of stone-splitting jackals who continued to prepare for the siege and the Lu clan members who were going to fight desperately, but also the Zhou clan who were hiding in the dark waiting for an opportunity. That was a monster of the lowest level, a stone-splitting jackwall with a strong body and amazing for defense. This young man from the Lu clan was so terrifying. Zhou Hanming was extremely fortunate at this moment that he chose to take action at this time. If he gave this young man from the Lu clan some more time, their Zhou clan would have no choice but to be destroyed. Compared with strangling this future threat, the family members who died because of attracting monsters can be regarded as a worthy death. But even if Lu Ya exploded desperately, he was only one person after all. Under the leadership of the stone-splitting Jackal King and the high-level stone-splitting Jackals, the Lu clan inevitably suffered casualties, either by charging forward or by fighting with more people. Lu Zan was covered in blood and his hair was disheveled. His original image of a refined and easygoing scholar was gone. Go! Lu Zan's eyes were bloodshot, and he made a gesture with his hands. A 2-foot-long ice cone flew out of his hand and pierced into the eye socket of the stone-splitting jackal that rushed in front of him. Poof! The brain of this stone-splitting jackal was directly crushed by the ice cone, and it was dead. However, the strong inertia still allowed this stone-splitting jackal to successfully hit Lu Zan's body, causing his body protection aura to flash, his whole body of magic power to stagnate, and the whole person could not help but retreat. In an instant, 3 stone-splitting jackals pounced on him, not giving him any time to breathe, and besieged him frantically. In just a few breaths, Lu Zan's body protection aura exploded, and the whole person was exposed to the stone-splitting jackals without any defense. A high-level stone-splitting jackal participating in the siege let out a short, sharp howl. Lu Zan only felt his brain buzzing and his eyes were dark. "Sixth uncle, get out of the way, daddy." Lu Zan vaguely heard the anxious calls of his tribesmen, and then severe pain came from all parts of his body. The 3 stone-splitting jackals had already thrown him to the ground, and their sharp canine teeth easily cut through his flesh and blood. Lu Zan could even smell the disgusting stench on them, but he could no longer make any moves. "It's over." Lu Zan's face darkened, and then he looked at Lu Jing with nostalgia. His magic power was raging, and he locked the 3 stone-splitting jackals tightly around him. "Die, daddy, don't." Boom. After the loud noise, Lu Zan died, and the 3 stone-splitting jackals that were besieging him were thrown away like a broken sack, lying on the ground motionless. Readers who think it's good, please give some recommendations. Collect. Invest. Chapter 23, The Second Level Monster Brahma Wind Leopard. Sixth uncle, Lu Ya watched Lu Zan explode and die, and he was filled with self-blame. "If it weren't for me, the stone-splitting jackal wouldn't have come, and sixth uncle wouldn't have died. It's all my fault, all my fault." "Don't panic, maintain the formation, and resist the attack," Lu Dingbo shouted, calming the tribesmen and awakening Lu Ya. Lu Ya raised his head and swallowed a key-restoring pill, and used his magic power to quickly catalyze it. Feeling the gradually recovered magic power, his eyes were red, and his body was wrapped in light red magic power. He charged at the stone-splitting jackal. Lu Ya took a step of 5 or 6 meters, his legs crossed at lightning speed, the black knife in his hand was cold and gleaming, and a cold knife light wrapped in his whole body's strength flashed away. A stone-splitting jackal, which was about to open its mouth to bite, trembled, and then fell to both sides. Killed with one knife. After Lu Ya killed a stone-splitting jackal with one sword, he did not stop, and like a gust of wind, he continuously attacked the stone-splitting jackals around him. For a moment, the flash of swords, the shadow of swords, and the shadow of fists flew everywhere, and one after another stone-splitting jackals were harvested by Lu Ya. Kill, to avenge Uncle Six. As Lu Ya exploded, the Lu clan members began to fight desperately, and the number of stone-splitting jackals was decreasing at a very fast rate. Lu Dingbo and a group of late-stage key training elders also tried hard to fight against the stone-splitting Jackal King and its guards. Patriarch, I didn't expect this group of stone-splitting jackals to be so useless that they couldn't even take down the Lu clan, Johannayu, who was watching the battle in the dark, said with dissatisfaction. If we can take down the Lu family with the help of the stone-splitting jackals, is it worth our efforts to plan? Zhou Hanming stared at the battlefield and said casually, the biggest role of these beasts is to consume the magic power of the Lu family and reduce a small number of personnel. The next step is when the real show will begin. Seeing his men dying one after another and more wounds on his body, the stone-splitting Jackal King finally couldn't help it and forced Lu Dinghe, who had been entangled with him, to retreat and turn to flee. The surviving stone-splitting jackals, seeing that their boss had run away, also turned around and rushed out desperately with their tails between their legs. Lu Yue leaned on his long sword, his face pale. The previous wave of explosion was extremely consuming for him, and he had to rest for a while. The other members of the Lu family, seeing the escaping stone-splitting Jackal King, all felt like they had survived a disaster. But before everyone could relax, the stone-splitting Jackal King, who was escaping the fastest, suddenly fell to the ground, holding his head with his front paws, and trembling. This change shocked everyone. Logically, a peak-level first-level demon beast would not do such an unbearable thing. But it did it anyway, without the dignity of a clan leader. The entire battlefield became so quiet that one could hear a pin drop. Lu Yue keenly heard the clacking sound of his fleshy palms stepping on the ground getting closer, accompanied by a dull snoring. As one after another of the escaping rock-breaking jackals crouched on the ground, a repressive atmosphere spread, making everyone uneasy and a little breathless. Lu Yue's heart was beating violently, and his face was extremely ugly. Not far from him, Lu Meng's eyes were filled with fear. He swallowed a mouthful of saliva with a gulp, and his voice trembled. This breath is from a second-level demon beast. A second-level demon beast is equivalent to a foundation building stage among human cultivators. Why a second-level demon beast appeared here, no one in the Lu family knew, and no one cared. Is this the horror of foundation building? Lu Yue stood still, feeling bitter in his heart. This kind of existence, if it wants, can almost destroy the entire Lu family. If the Lu family still has a foundation, a second-level monster coming here will definitely not come back, but now, we can only hope that it is passing by. Papa, as the footsteps get closer and closer, a huge leopard head emerges from the darkness. In an instant, a horror that cannot be described in words swept through everyone present like a tornado. Those with high cultivation had difficulty breathing, and those with low cultivation had a blank mind. After 3 full breaths, Lu Yue covered his chest and gasped. He raised his head and saw a huge leopard monster with a shoulder height of 3 meters and dark gold eyes, slowly walking into everyone's sight. Its earthy yellow fur is covered with green spots, its limbs are thick, its muscles are streamlined, and its body is full of explosive power. Lu Yue has every reason to believe that the explosive power brought by this kind of muscle will definitely easily exceed the ton level. Lu Feng said in a trembling voice, the Fanfeng leopard shouldn't be here. The appearance of the Fanfeng leopard had a great impact on Lu Yue's worldview. This creature that seemed to exist in the mythical world appeared alive in front of him at this moment. Is this the world where demons are rampant? The Fanfeng leopard casually glanced at the people present, and walked lightly through the stone-cracked jackwalls. The leopard claws as big as chair seats fell casually, and crushed the stone-cracked jackwalls under his feet. The Fanfeng leopard walked straight towards the Lu clan's land, with a casual and natural attitude, as if walking in his territory. Lu Dingbo looked at the Fanfeng leopard approaching, and moved his body to appear in front of everyone. Then Lu Dinghe came and stood shoulder to shoulder with him. Lu Dingbo said in a deep voice, if you are below the late stage of key training, retreat to the family. If you are above the late stage of key training, follow me to meet the enemy. The Fanfeng leopard looked at the human in front of him, and a touch of human disdain appeared in the huge dark gold beast eyes. If it was the kind of human standing in the sky, it would definitely roll as far as possible. But even for the weaklings in front of it that it could kill in one breath, the Brahma wind leopard felt that it had to show off its majesty as a second-level monster. The distance between the two was getting closer and closer. Lu Yue, who was standing next to Lu Yuan, could even hear the heavy breathing of the Brahma wind leopard, which was like a bellows. Without hesitation, Lu Yue began to prepare the ground-piercing technique. Everyone, fight hard. The survival of the Lu family depends on us. Lu Dingbo swung the red wind sword, and his perfect key training burst out, and he rushed to the Brahma wind leopard first. Ha, clan leader, let me do this. Lu Dinghe's tall body was bulging with blue veins, and the whole person revealed an unhealthy blood red. He took a step forward, and the ground under his feet burst instantly. The powerful force pushed him, and he shot towards the Brahma wind leopard like lightning. Wherever he went, it was like a level 10 typhoon. The Brahma wind leopard noticed the movement and disappeared instantly. When he appeared again, he was already standing in front of Lu Dinghe, and the huge leopard claws fell on his head. "Come on," Lu Dinghe shouted, raised his fist as big as a casserole, and threw a straight punch without any fancy moves. Bang! A dull sound of flesh colliding was heard, and a circle of gray-white airwaves burst out from where Lu Dinghe was, burying the two in it. Dinghe, third master, seeing that the situation was not good, Lu Dingbo swung the red wind sword in his hand, and a blood-red sword energy flew towards the fragile neck of the Brahma wind leopard. Lu Yang also made a move at the same time, and the sharp ground spikes silently pierced out from the abdomen of the Brahma wind leopard, and then 3 golden sword energies attacked the huge eyeballs of the Brahma wind leopard. Dear readers, it is very important to follow up now. If you have finished reading, remember to move your fingers to point to the last page. It is basically related to the subsequent life of a book. Thank you. Chapter 24 Escape. When the dust cleared, Lu Dinghe's tall figure gradually emerged. However, compared to before, he now looked 30 centimeters shorter. The blow he just struck against the Brahma wind leopard had nailed him directly into the ground. Before it could strike again, Lu Dingbo had already rushed forward. With his top-grade magic weapon and his perfect ki training, he barely blocked the attack of the Brahma wind leopard. Seeing this, the others also joined the battle. However, compared to Lu Dingbo and Lu Dinghe, the others could only release magic from a distance to interfere. As for close combat with a second-level Brahma wind leopard, that was not something they could participate in. Lu Ya's performance was particularly outstanding, because not only were his golden sword energy and ground spikes extremely powerful, but he also kept his moves on the Brahma wind leopard's eyes, nose and crotch, so the Brahma wind leopard had to spend some of his attention on Lu Ya. This was one of the reasons why Lu Dingbo and Lu Dinghe were able to block the Brahma wind leopard. Roar! The Brahma wind leopard suddenly roared, and the powerful sound waves made Lu Dingbo and the other man who were close to him unable to get any closer. Then, the Brahma wind leopard turned his head and looked at Lu Ya. It was this despicable human who successfully aroused its anger. After taking the opportunity to slap Lu Dinghe away with a palm, the Brahma wind leopard's strong and powerful hind legs suddenly exerted force, and the huge figure instantly disappeared from the spot. At the same time, Lu Yang only felt a fishy wind coming towards him, and the strong sense of crisis made his hair stand on end. But Lu Ya subconsciously activated a golden amulet placed on his chest. A circle of light golden protective spirit shield unfolded in front of Lu Yang, and the moment it unfolded, a huge leopard claw appeared in front of Lu Yang. Boom! The huge claw slapped on the golden mana shield, and the fierce force made Lu Yang fly backwards immediately. He felt as if all the bones in his body were shattered, and every bone in his body was wailing non-stop. Puff! Lu Yang spat out a mouthful of blood, and endured the severe pain all over his body. He stared at the huge body of the Brahma wind leopard in front of him, raised his hands flat, and his magic power surged. The golden sword energy shot at the bloody mouth of the Brahma wind leopard without regard for the consequences. You dare, stop! Lu Dingbo and others were furious. They didn't expect that the Brahma wind leopard would actually attack Lu Ya, who had the lowest cultivation. Kill him! Joe, who was secretly observing, was very excited when he saw Lu Ya vomiting blood after being hit by the Brahma wind leopard. Crack! The Brahma wind leopard's huge mouth bit on the shield formed by the golden amulet, making a tooth-grinding friction sound. Looking at this posture, Lu Ya could only hold on for a few more breaths at most, and the golden amulet outside his body would definitely break. The power of his whole body suddenly burst out, and his legs kicked hard at the fangs of the Brahma wind leopard. His body suddenly shot out of the Brahma wind leopard's mouth like lightning and bounced towards the position of Lu Dingbo and others. While he was in midair, a huge leopard claw wrapped with a green wind blade appeared beside him, slapping at Lu Ya mercilessly. Lu Ya slapped the ground with one hand, twisted his body forcefully, and chopped the leopard claw fiercely with a long knife in his hand. But the foundation-building monster is a foundation-building monster, with extremely strong defense. Facing Lu Ya's desperate slash, the Brahma wind leopard did not stop at all, still maintaining the slapping posture, allowing the long knife to fall on its claws. The seemingly soft fur of the Brahma wind leopard instantly became extremely tough when it touched the long knife. Lu Ya felt that his full strength slash only made a wound 10 centimeters deep at most. Compared with the huge body of the Brahma wind leopard, it was not even a minor injury. Bang! However, Lu Yi's powerful strength still worked, and the leopard claw was swung away half a meter away, and it passed by him by a hair's breadth. Beast! A roar like thunder resounded throughout the venue. Lu Yi felt a flash before his eyes. An extremely hot breath appeared in front of him. Lu Dinghei's tall body began to emit terrifying mana fluctuations. The eyes of the Brahma wind leopard showed obvious vigilance. It was obvious that the instinct of a beast was reminding it that Lu Dinghei was a sufficient threat to it at this moment. Get out of here! Lu Dinghei's beard and hair were all stretched out, and his muscular hands were clenched tightly. He punched out. The Brahma wind leopard was also not to be outdone. A claw shot out like lightning. The scorching mana spread out, and the Brahma wind leopard's right palm trembled slightly. Lu Dinghei became more and more courageous. Without any pause, he rushed forward again. While the Brahma wind leopard had not recovered, he threw another straight punch without any fancy moves. Boom! 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 Lu Dinghei's punches were heavier than the last, and the mana fluctuations became stronger and stronger, hitting the Brahma wind leopard back continuously. Lu Yi looked at the godlike third grandfather, took out a key restoring pill and swallowed it, then attacked again with a golden sword energy. Boom! After another violent fight, Lu Dinghei was full of momentum and stood still. On the other hand, the Brahma wind leopard had its right claw drooping in the air, and blood was flowing from the corner of its mouth. Third grandfather actually confronted the second-level monster head-on and beat it back. Lu Yi was somewhat shocked by the powerful fighting power of third grandfather, which was completely different from his usual smiling lazy old man appearance. Lu Dinghei looked directly into the eyes of the Brahma wind leopard, with murderous intent flashing in his eyes, and shouted, "Lu clan members, follow me to kill this beast." As soon as the voice fell, Lu Dingbo held the red wind sword and rushed towards the Brahma wind leopard without hesitation. Kill! Seeing this, the elders of the Lu clan roared and rushed towards the Brahma wind leopard. Wu the Fenfeng leopard with a broken right claw roared unwillingly, glanced at the Lu family's house behind everyone, and then turned around and ran away. Seeing the disappearance of the Fenfeng leopard, the tense nerves of the Lu family finally relaxed. Lu Yi also breathed a sigh of relief. He almost died just now. Fortunately, he activated the golden amulet in time. Zhou family rats, get out here and die! Lu Dinghei stood in place and shouted angrily at the darkness not far away. This shout startled not only the Lu family, but also the Zhou family. Third Master. Are you saying that all this was done by the Zhou family? Lu Feng's eyes were almost spitting fire, looking at Lu Dinghei and asked sternly. His brother died in the siege of the stone-splitting jackal. If all this was done by the Zhou family, then the Zhou family must pay with blood. You rats of the Zhou family, you have the guts to do it, but not the guts to admit it? Could it be that the people left by the ancestor Zhou Chuanai were all thieving bastards? Lu Dinghei did not answer Lu Feng's words, but shouted at the darkness again. His eyes became more dangerous, and the aura on his body became more terrifying. Patriarch, did that old man discover us? An elder beside Zhou Hanming asked in a voice transmission. Zhou Hanming's eyes flickered, and just now he thought that the old man Lu Dinghei had discovered them, but then he thought that they had never revealed their whereabouts, and this man was very likely to deceive them. And looking at the terrifying aura of Lu Dinghei, Zhou Hanming waited up and was afraid that he was not his opponent. If he jumped out now, he would be seriously injured or even killed by this old man with no future, and it would be more trouble than gain. After hesitating for a while, Zhou Hanming decided to stay put, and let Lu Dinghei scold him many times, but he remained motionless. Dear readers, it is very important to catch up on reading now. If you have finished reading, remember to move your finger and click to the last page. It is basically related to the subsequent life of a book. Thank you. Chapter 25 Revenge. Lu Dinghei yelled a few more times, but seeing that there was still no movement, he began to call on the family members to clean up the battlefield. A few minutes later, everyone returned to the family with the family's relics and spoils. Zhou Hanming looked at the gradually rising family protection formation, and suddenly a strong sense of regret arose in his heart for no reason. When the family protection formation enveloped the entire Lu family, Lu Dinghei, who was originally unparalleled in the family, instantly spit out a mouthful of blood, and his tall body became visibly thinner. It only took a few breaths for him to go from strong to emaciated. Third Master, third uncle, Lu Dingbo, who had been standing beside Lu Dinghei, reached out to support him, his face full of pain, and said, "Dinghei, why are you doing this?" Lu Dinghei's face was as pale as gold paper, and his breath was weak, but he still forced himself to say, "Brother, My path to the Tao has long been cut off anyway, so I might as well make use of my useful body and win a future for the family." After taking a few breaths, he continued, "I found the corpse of a Zhou clan member in the body of the stone-splitting jackal. What happened tonight must be related to the Zhou clan. It is very likely that they are watching us in the dark. After forcing back the Fanfeng leopard, if our Lu clan shows any sign of decline, then the Zhou clan will surely rush forward, and our Lu clan will be expelled tonight." Lu Dingbo's face was gloomy, and he said, "This kind of thing should have been done by me." Lu Dinghe waved his hand indifferently. "Brother, you are the head of the clan and have outstanding talent, and I have been half-crippled for a long time. This kind of thing has to be done by me." Lu Ya stood aside, feeling mixed emotions, and a surge of anger could not be stopped. Zhou family again. Is it so difficult for each of them to develop peacefully? Lu Dinghe urged, "I can still survive for a while, there is no need to do this. The most urgent thing is Zhou family." Lu Feng's eyes showed murderous intent, and he immediately agreed, "That's right, Zhou family will probably attack my Lu family soon. Clan leader, I suggest that we strike first and catch Zhou family off guard." "That's right, kill Zhou family and avenge Lu Zan." The people of Lu family were excited and wanted to go to Zhou family now. Everyone turned their eyes to Lu Dingbo, waiting for his decision. Without much hesitation, Lu Dingbo decisively said, "Tonight, those who are healing will heal their wounds, and those who are replenishing their mana will replenish their mana. I will immediately contact the King Mu Wang family. Tomorrow, when the Wang family arrives, we will kill the Zhou family." After speaking, he turned his eyes to Lu Ya. Lu Ya's performance before really surprised him, and at the same time, he was also sweating. If he hadn't given Lu Ya the golden amulet, the consequences would be Lu Ya. "Tomorrow's trip, you will be in the family, and you must never act easily again." Lu Ya wanted to say something, but seeing the worried and concerned eyes of everyone, he had to nod and agree. "Later, all the supplies and elixirs will be distributed to everyone. Go back and rest." After Lu Dingbo finished speaking, everyone returned one after another. Lu Ya returned to the house, without stopping at all, and sat cross-legged to meditate and began to heal his wounds. Although he had the protection of the golden amulet in the previous fight with Fanfeng Bao, he was only a cultivator of the 5th level of key training after all, and injuries were inevitable. Fortunately, they were all minor internal injuries. Lu Ya took a wound-removing pill sent by the family, and practiced Chong Chun Gong for a few rounds, and the injuries on the damaged parts were healed. After a night like this, by the next morning, Lu Ya's injuries had almost healed, and his mana was full again. At about noon, the King Mu Wang family's team finally arrived at the Lu family. The leader was Wang Hong, the current head of the King Mu Wang family, who was at the peak of the 10th level of key training and was also the brother-in-law of the clan leader Lu Dingbo. After everyone arrived, many cultivators, led by Lu Dingbo, headed towards the Zhou family's clan land in a menacing manner. Along the way, everyone's aura was united, and the speed was as fast as a galloping horse. When passing by the Zhou family's spiritual field, several Zhou family cultivators who were working were instantly strangled in the spiritual field by the crowd, without giving the other party any time to react. When the Zhou family received the news, the Lu family had already killed outside the Zhou family's clan land. When enemies meet, they are extremely jealous. Although Zhou defended himself in the formation with an innocent look and even brought up the name of the Yin-Yang holy sect, the Lu family was unmoved and various attacks continued to fall on the Zhou family's protective formation. "Lu Dingbo, do you really want to go to war with my Zhou family?" Zhou Hanming's eyes were a little panicked. He didn't expect that the Lu family, who were injured last night, would dare to take the initiative to attack their Zhou family, and the attack was so fierce. In fact, this was the result of only half of the King Mu Wang family participating in the attack. Half a quarter of an hour later, the Zhou family's protective formation exploded under the continuous attack, completely exposing the Zhou family members in it to the attack. Kill, fight, two different shouts of killing intertwined in the air in the Zhou family's territory, and the war between the families broke out instantly. Lu Dingbo took the lead in killing Zhou Hanming. Both of them were perfect in the 10th level of key training. As soon as they fought, the surging magic power forced the people around them away. Lu Yu followed the agreement and followed Lu Yuan, constantly using the golden sword energy to attack and kill the Zhou clan members. Less than a moment after the fight, Wang Hong joined the battlefield with a 10th level key training cultivator and 5 late-stage key training cultivators. This incident made the Zhou clan members look desperate, while the Lu clan was full of vigor. For a time, the Zhou clan was defeated by the attacks of the Lu and Wang clans. Patriarch Lu, I don't want the spiritual field anymore. I admit that it belongs to you, Lu clan. Let me go. Zhou Hanming's face was gray. After forcing Lu Dingbo to retreat, he gritted his teeth and said, "Let Zhou go." Lu Dingbo secretly adjusted his breath, and then rushed forward again. "Let you Zhou go, then my Lu clan's people will die in vain." Just 2 short sentences doomed the Zhou clan's fate. Half an hour later, as Zhou Hanming was beheaded by Lu Dingbo's sword, the Zhou clan, which had coexisted with the Lu clan for nearly 50 years, disappeared. Congratulations, Chief Lu. Wang Hong was a thin middle-aged man with 2 strands of beard. Seeing that the matter was over, he immediately bowed his hands with a smile on his face to congratulate. "Thank you, Chief Wang and everyone for your great help." Lu Dingbo also returned the gift and thanked. No, by the way, I see that everyone in the Lu family has excellent qualifications, especially that young man. Wang Hong looked at Lu Yan not far away, and then asked, "I wonder if he is married." Lu Dingbo followed Wang Hong's gaze and immediately understood what he meant. "Brother Wang, that is the younger generation of the Yang family, Lu Ya, who does not deserve such praise from you. As for marriage, it is not yet married. I wonder what you think." Lu Dingbo showed an interested look. The Wang family is a family with a title of foundation building, and the ancestor of the family is a great foundation building cultivator. If the Lu family can form another marriage with the Wang family, it will be more beneficial to the relationship between the 2 parties. After all, the contribution of the Wang family this time is not small, and Lu Yu is indeed worthy of this marriage. Dear readers, it is very important to catch up on reading now. If you have finished reading, remember to move your finger and click to the last page. It is basically related to the subsequent life of a book. Thank you. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.